And we alive. What's good, Charles? Wrong button. Oh my goodness. It's Monday, y'all. I got the Mondays. And we alive. I got the Mondays. Sitting here trying to get ahead of things. I thought it was set up right. Hit the wrong button. What's good, y'all? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I really want to know podcast. Hey man, how y'all feeling out there, man? Happy Monday. I hope things are going good for you guys. I hope your case of the Mondays is not as bad as my case of the Mondays. Uh, but we are here. Yo, I did a short today. I did a short. I discovered I did I did a short today. I discovered a podcaster out there, his brother named Shah. And I was doing a short on on his content, kind of, I do the DL shorts, man. I try to keep it, under 30 minutes for sure. I like to keep them around between 12 and 15, 20 minutes or so. But I was like, man, I'm going long. I'm gonna have to actually make this a full blown live. And so that's what we're gonna talk about today. This has everything to do with Fresh and Fit. Y'all know my homeboys, Myron and Fresh, you know what I mean? The whole Fresh and Fit fam. Shout out to Chris, Big Mo. Uh I forget what's the new brother's name? Is it Biggs? Or man, I forget his name. I haven't met him yet. Shout out to you though, bro. Sorry I haven't locked your name in yet, man. Please forgive me. I'll get it right. I'll get it straight. Um, but Icy and the whole Fresh and Fit fam, you know what I mean? Shout out to all y'all, man. But yo, when I saw this, I'm like, yo, Bills, thanks, bro. Thank you, Bills. Forgive me, brother. Forgive me, Bills. I'll be reaching out to you though, homie. Trust me, I'm definitely gonna reach out to you, man. Gotta show you some uncle love. You know what I mean? Pause. But anyway, shout out to the whole family, the whole Fresh and Fit fam. Um, it is what it is. I don't understand why so many people. I do understand it. We're gonna get into it a little bit. We're gonna get into it, but there's this whole thing with whatever podcast, just Pearly things. Hey, like I said, shout out to Pearl. I met Pearl. Um, like I said, man, I talked to Pearl. I had a lot, I had a lot on my mind. I wanted to ask her about her thoughts on slavery not being that bad. I'm here to tell you, she stood on her square, 10 toes down. She didn't flinch. She wasn't scared. You feel me? You know what I mean? She was standing there right, we eye to eye. She didn't flinch, and it wasn't confrontation or anything like that. But she was like, "Yo, let's talk about it," and we did. And shout out to Blessings, her producer. She introduced me to Blessings, man. It was like I said, man, I ain't got a problem with Pearl. Um, a lot of people like, you gonna work with her? And like, I don't know about that. I don't know about working with Pearl until we get to the bottom of this whole slavery wasn't bad thing. That's I got, everybody has their own little thing. That one right there we need to talk about. But Pearl was there. So, in Miami, this was in Miami. This was in Brickell. So I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I give her credit, man, for her hustle. Like I said, she ain't scared. None of that. None of that. We got brother Mike Metalstruck in the building. What's good, fam? Like I just work for Fresh and Fit and whatever. It is what it is, bro. I don't like seeing beef between the two. Um, it didn't really start off as beef to me. You know what I mean? Like people don't have to work together, bro. We don't have to. Because we go to the same school, don't mean I gotta rock with you. I get where Myron was coming from, but your boy Brian's reaction, yo, like that right there, yo, he was, like I said, dude needs a hug, bro. He was in his feelings. You know what I mean? Like that long comment he put in the comment section under the video or whatever, bro. Like I said, man, like I love the West Coast, man. Some cool folks out there, but there's some weirdos out there, bro. They don't call it Holly Weird for nothing. And yes, I know he's in Santa Barbara, but that's still all part of Holly Weird, bro. The greater Los Angeles area keeps expanding because people can't afford to live there. So people go, you can be as far out as Palmdale, San Bernardino, Camarillo, or Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo. All those folks, man, they find their way to Hollywood and they go back to wherever they come from, man. So it's all over Southern California, bro. All over, as far south as Orange County. It's all over. Temecula down there. You know what I'm saying? All that, bro. And people be on that, man. It is what it is. I ain't mad. We got Dr. B in the building. What's good, fam? And I'm so sorry we didn't get a chance to kick it more, man, down there, bro. We only had a couple days, man. But, man, it was good seeing you, bro. Like, you saw me. Uncle Saint was down there hustling, bro. I was down there networking, making things happen. You know what I'm saying? Man, I wish you had been had a little bit more energy and could have made it back on Saturday when we was at Empire on Saturday, man. We was all just kind of chilling, man. We was just chilling, having a good thing. Good time down there. Brother Penny Jules in the building was good. And Dr. B is like, to me, whatever is a close copy of Fresh and Fit After Hours. That's all it is. It's Fresh and Fit After Hours West Coast. I've been saying it's Fresh and Fit West Coast, but really what it is Fresh and Fit After Hours West Coast. And, when they first started, and I was like, yeah, what they're doing, it is what it is, but it's Fresh and Fit 100%. And, y'all know what I forgot to do? I forgot to kick the show off proper, like, make it happen. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some. That was your boy Brian when he shot back. It was get some. And we're gonna watch a little bit of this, and then we're gonna react to Brother Shah's video, which is a really good video. Y'all need to definitely check out my man's site, and it's right here. This is Shah, SHAH. This is Shah, man. Go over to his YouTube, man. Go over there. Definitely like and subscribe over there, man. He drops the fire. This brother apparently has or had a career within the family child support system of the family law court system. This brother has a lot of knowledge, man. I've been watching his content today. I was like really watching some of his stuff. Reached out to the brother and everything, man. Like, yo, this dude might be the go-to guy on child support and how the child support side of things work. Go check out his stuff, man. Like and subscribe. More importantly, watch his content. Like, go over there and just like, if you going to work or something like that, open your computer, and just play his content so he can get his hours up, so he can get fully monetized, so he can get his money too. Because this is a business at the end of the day, y'all. Right? So, but go over there and check him out, man. He's got some good stuff. I hope he becomes the go-to guy when it comes to the whole family court aspect of the family law system. He has some really good ideas. He has a lot of experience. It seems from watching his content. I look forward to talking to the brother. Yo, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, man. He might be the next dude. He might be. And this is just me saying whatever. You know what I'm saying? But back to what we're talking about. Back to the whatever podcast. Bro. That Brian guy, man, he really got in his feelings over what Myron had to say. And what Myron said wasn't even confrontational, bro. For real. It wasn't even hardcore. It was just, he's like, hey, man, he getting his money, whatever, but I think he's in it for the money. And we're going to get into that in a little bit, man. But I don't see what's wrong with that. But we're gonna get into it. We definitely gonna get into it, man. But Dr. B, you're right, man. Like, yeah, whatever podcast is definitely a copy of Fresh and Fit After Hours. It's a brilliant move. A lot of people have tried it. He's the only one who's just really been able to take it to this level. It is what it is. He's like Brown has always shown Fresh and Fit love. Dude, I don't know. I mean, hey, man, what Myron said and what Fresh said wasn't hate, right? And it seems to me that this dude Brian, he just mad because the guys, the top two dudes, were like, man, we ain't rocking with you. Stay over there. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Myron didn't show any hate. Fresh didn't show any hate. They were just like, we're not going to work with him. And here's the thing. It came from the people out there who watch them. Why aren't you doing this? When are you going to work with them? When are you going to work with them? When are you going to work with them? Eventually, they had to address it. Like, we're not going to do it. They just had to address it. Hey, we're not going to do it. And this is why. I can respect that. Trust me, man. I've hit up a lot of people, man. Rich Cooper. I respect Rich Cooper, man. That's a top tier dude. And I reached out to him, DM'd him on Instagram. Hey, man, I'm trying to get on the show. How do I get you to get on my show, or how do I get on your whatever? And Rich was like, it has to make sense. He kept it 100 with me. So what am I supposed to do? Turn around and hate the man? No. I was like, cool. Let me go out here and work harder. What was he saying? It has to make sense. I got to be a bigger platform. That's all he was saying. It's got to make sense for me to rock with you. I got to whatever. So that was cool. You know what I did? I began to work harder. I began to dig deeper. He was like, I was like, and I told him, man, the text, I'm like, all right, bro, I got work to do then. I'll see you on the other side. which means like I'm gonna see you when I'm gonna get it up, and you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna get my cloud up, I'm gonna get my platform up, and I'm gonna come holler at you. And guess what? You can see Uncle Saint talking to Rich Cooper on Rich Cooper's platform. He welcomed me with open arms on his platform. I still got work to do to get him on mine, but I'm gonna make it happen. I'm not gonna sit here and cry about it neither. I'm gonna make it happen because that's what you do, right? That's what you do. So Fresh and Fit is saying a variant of that. Like, man, we ain't working with him, man. We just don't want to work with him. Whatever. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. But that dude Brian got mad. He got mad. You know what I mean? Brother Pitney was saying, Brian might have been upset, but he still didn't have any smoke for Fresh and Fit. He maintained, rightly so, that nobody owns a format. Donovan Sharp has often said the same thing. Nah, bro, he got mad. We're about to see it right here. He has something to say. He has something to say, bro. He got mad. He took exception to Myron and Fresh saying the dude's in it for the money. He got mad about that statement right there. And he went in real deep on that, bro. We about to see it. Dusto's in the building, man. I see you, Scam Like it was good. Brother Penny, appreciate that, man. Sick intro, man. And that is from Shushu. Shushu did. Shamiria did that for me, yo. You know what I mean? So shout out to her, bro. We should have her on next week, I think. I'm gonna hit her up. I think we're gonna have her on next week. And we're gonna talk about some stuff. I want to talk about this whole Victoria's Secret thing with her. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Victoria's Secret tried to go woke a little bit, cost them billions, and they leaving that wokeness behind. They're going back to their normal game plan. So no more plus size models walking around in lingerie. But it is what it is. Oh man, Life of Cash is in the building, bro. Changed his name up and everything, bro. What's good? Good to see you. Are you back, man? Are you back? Was everything cool? Can't wait to talk to you, bro. Can't wait to chop it up. The Level Up man's in the building. What's good, fam? We got Louisiana up in here. Nothing wrong with what Myron said. Absolutely nothing wrong. Nobody ever said Brian was a bad person. They said that they wished him well. They wanted him to get his money. You're right. There's not a thing wrong with being in it for the money. No, it's absolutely not a thing wrong. Nothing at all. Nothing at all wrong for doing this, trying to get the money. Like I said, I invested a lot of time and energy and money into equipment. Most of the equipment I don't even use. I don't even know how to use, to be honest with you. But I bought this stuff without doing research. Shame on me. It'll be nice to make the money back, like to make the investment back. It would be nice to do that. And YouTube offers that opportunity, bro. This is a business, bro. Yeah, it's entertainment. It's a little bit of education tied in here. And we're building social networks. You know what I'm saying? Like the Knights met because of Fresh and Fit. The New Templars met because of Fresh and Fit. We started an organization right here in Tampa. We get together in real life at least once a month, and we are doing things and making things happen. We're putting our little money together. We're getting our situation right. And y'all gonna hear about the Saints. We're gonna be the Saints, about the Knights. We're gonna be out there doing big things in different cities. We'll be in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Dallas, New York, Atlanta, DC. Hell, we might make it out to Vegas. You know what I mean? We are planning it. We're doing it. We have begun. We started our tribe. We started our clique. This is our thing. Thanks to Myron and Fresh. Shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And Brother Penny's like, forgive me for not being clear. I meant to say, yes, he was upset, but he doesn't have vitriol hate for Myron and Fresh. Right. Like he was a little salty, man. He went in. And again, I wouldn't have done it that way. And we're going to talk about that as we get into it. I would have gone a different route. Y'all know I'm old school. If I got a problem with you, I'm going to come see you. If I can't come see you physically, I'm going to reach out to you and talk to you. Right. I'm going to holler at you. Like I'm going to holler at you before I run to a platform, before I shoot out a comment, I'm going to holler at you, man. But, we just different. We just different, man. And I appreciate y'all coming in here, rocking out with me. You know what I'm saying? We got the Joes up in this piece. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all coming through, man, for real. And this is a good way for dudes to get back to the old school way of doing business. Right. I think that'll help a lot, especially in this space. Rich Cooper is correct. He calls it the Mano Swamp. Why? For this very thing right here. This very thing right here. Like Myron and Fresh was just doing what they do. And it's turned into, something, and like I said, it's coming from that dude, Brian. It's coming from that dude. Laying the voice in the building. What's good, sis? Always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for coming through. So we're gonna watch. We got a video loaded up here. And we're gonna watch a little bit of this video, and then we might even have a surprise guest for you guys. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. We might have a surprise guest, so definitely make sure you stay to the end on this one. But here's a video right here. So this video we're about to watch. This is Myron and Fresh in the new studio, and they're talking to a caller. This was on their Friday call-in show. One of the callers, wanted to air out some things. We could call them like little grievances or whatever, but this is a supporter. So it's not hate. It's just like, he's just saying what he has to say. And he's asking, how come you guys don't work with certain YouTube platforms or whatever. So this is the beginning of the conversation that we watched in the short. Let's check this out.
We don't refrain from working with people based on the color of their skin or their background. That absolutely has zero bearing on anything. That's number one. As far as the situation, so you're saying, why don't we work with certain individuals?
Yeah, basically.
Well, for one, we don't owe anybody anything. That's for sure. Yeah. And two, it's like we've actually worked people from the very beginning that were supposed to be on some level, I want to say, a part of our culture, part of our, I want to say, space, and a lot of them turn us down. So it's kind of like, at this point, we're just doing what we need to do to move forward.
You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's just go, because I want to make sure we address this.
And you see, Fresh is trying to be political. He's trying to keep it 100. What Fresh is saying, basically, we're showing love to the people who show love to us. Right? He's just keeping it 100. They were on the come up, they were like trying to get on, and Fresh reached out to everybody. Trust me when I tell you, Fresh reached out to everybody, right? And most folks were like, what's up? Maybe some people answered Fresh and Fit back then the same way that Rich Cooper answered me. Like, well, it has to make sense, not at this time, whatever, which was cool. But we, still rock with me, still show me love, I still show him love. It's golden. And that led to some opportunities down the road. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things. Like, I want to tell y'all what's going on, but I'm not going to tell you. Y'all gonna have to stick around and find out what I'm talking about. But if you network properly and you handle your business properly and you treat people the way you want to be treated, good things will happen. But if you get Hollywood on somebody, let's keep it 100. If you get Hollywood on somebody, they probably gonna remember that. There's a lot of comics out there that I don't deal with. Why? Because they was on some Hollywood out there. You know what I mean? There's one dude in particular, Ben Glebe. I don't deal with dude. I mean, ever. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like that. I don't deal with dude. He has no honor as far as I'm concerned. He's Hollywood. I don't rock with that. A lot of people are like, man, you crazy. Ben Glebe, he was doing this, and he had this TV show on the Game Network, and he had this and that, and he was doing that. Nope. Glebe know what time it is. I don't rock with that. And you can be going up, doing whatever. You better be respectful to everybody, because you're going to see those same people when you come back down. Right? And I think that's what Fresh is getting at. Right? Fresh reaches out to everybody. Everybody. He knows what's going on, not just red pillars, YouTubers. Fresh reaches out to everybody. How you think they got Kevin Samuels on there? Fresh reaches out to everybody. How you think they got Waka Flocka on there? How you think they got what's the name? Kodak. How you think they got him on there? How you think Big Act came on there? You know what I mean? Fresh networks and reaches out to everyone. Remember that, y'all. That's how the world works, man. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Last good man in Jersey's in the building. What's good, fam? Good to see you, bro. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Yeah, lady in the boy. It is. That's where we at over here. We got to take care of red pill manosphere stuff, man. We got to talk about the Mano Swamp. And then we talk about other stuff as well. I try to blend the two. It's kind of hard, but like I said, you're definitely going to enjoy that show that Shushu and I do. We're going to be talking about that Victoria's Secrets thing. I think you'll enjoy that. This show, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to enjoy this as much. I don't know. You might. But there's a lesson here. to be had. But let's continue with the video.
Properly. Who are you talking about specifically?
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
ahead. Well, go ahead.
Who in detail?
Who are you talking about specifically? And I'll go ahead and tell you why we don't work with them.
Just Pearly Things and whatever podcast.
I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, y'all might not know this, and I have no problem with Pearl personally, but she made a hit piece on us back when we were going through the fucking situation with Anus and Reach.
Yes.
Okay. I have a serious, as you guys know, loyalty is extremely important to me. If you talk shit about me, I will not forget. And she made a hit piece on us. Y'all might not know about this, and I'm not saying this to attack or whatever, but facts are facts. She made a hit piece on us back when all this shit was going on in August of 2021. At the worst time, she kicked us when we were down.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't work with her. There's your answer. And now, as far as whatever goes, the reason why we don't work with them is because I'm not going to align myself with someone that isn't a part of the red pill space for real. I'm going to just call it $1 million.
It's money.
He's here for money, bro.
Yeah.
Let's just call it all the way 1,000. He's here to make a buck, which is fine. I'm never going to knock someone for being a capitalist, but he's not really in this space to help men from what I can see. If you're out here selling pocket pussies and, having, long ass podcasts, draw out clips, etc., I understand the business strategy, but we don't align with that because you guys have asked us 1,000,000 times. So I want to address this once and for all. Pearl, y'all know why. Whatever, we don't align in our belief system. That's not to knock him or who he is or how he runs his business. We actually wish him the best.
There you go.
But he doesn't have the same values as us. And I personally think he's in it for the money, and that's not why we're in it. We're in it for completely different reasons.
Now, a lot of people are going to hear that and go ballistic, right? Well, wait, what do you mean they ain't in it for the money? Of course, there's a business. There is a business here, right? He's not talking about the business side of it. Like Myron and Fresh really tries to help. Are they getting paid? Yeah, they're getting paid. A lot of people are like, man, you want one Uncle Saint, da, da, da. I'm just letting you know, bro, I've been sitting there. If Myron and Fresh wanted to make more money, and I said this in the short, and I'm just making up this number here, I just want to make a point. I'm trying to make a point, so I'm making up a percentage, right? I would argue that they leave at least 45% of potential earnings on the table, if not more, right? Again, I haven't done the research. I haven't sat down like, oh, let's look at Myron and Fresh could make a lot more money if they wanted to. Like, even when you look at stuff like DMs on demand, anybody who follows these two, if you follow this platform, you familiar with it, DMs on demand, y'all know what it is. It's basically them showing people how to increase their sexual marketplace value on Instagram. So doesn't matter what anybody says, Instagram is the future when it comes to dating. This is how the modern world is dating. This is what the young kids is doing, right? They're on Instagram. It's all about Instagram, DMing back and forth and doing all this stuff. That whole check mark thing has gone out the window. It used to mean something, but they talk about that, right? They talk about how to make your Instagram the most desirable for women, right? And they call this package, this course, DMs on demand. They've been doing it for since they started, right? They'll open up the course when enough people ask for it. Hey, you're going to do DMs on demand. Hey, when you going to do it? When you going to do DMs on demand? Hey. They get enough people like, all right, finally. They're like, okay, we'll open it up. And whenever they open it up and that thing fills up like that, I didn't know how much money they were getting off that course, right? And we'll find out how much money. Well, if you watch the short, you know how much money it is because Brian from whatever podcast made it clear to put the amount of money that Myron and Fresh were asking for in this course or what he believes they're getting from this course, right? And he, it's just other stuff like that, right? So if you're out there, if your mission is to meet women and you've been unsuccessful meeting women online, on dating apps, in real life, or whatever, bro, DMs on demand makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. A one-time payment of $500, they're gonna break it down to you and show you how to work this new world. Let's not get it twisted, man. This is new. This is a new way of doing business, right? This is a new way of doing business. You're gonna get mad at Myron and Fresh? Come on now. That's business. And the fact that people are asking for it. I have no problem with people providing a product that other folks want, especially if the people who are buying said product are happy and satisfied with it. I don't have a problem at all with that. At all. You know, so for whatever, you know, whatever podcast brought that up, you know, I mean, I just really wanted to get into that DMs on demand thing because it's like, bro, it makes sense. If your mission is to go out here and you trying to get on with women, right? This is a new aspect of the game. It just is. You know what I mean? The level up, man. Brian isn't out to help men. Brian is out to help Brian. And that's okay. No problem. Myron is trying to help men improve, and he is monetizing it in the process. That's the difference. Hey, man. You know what I'm saying? I hear stuff like that, and hey, man, I gotta agree. I gotta agree. And why do I agree? Because I've been there at the end of some events when we're sitting there screaming at Myron, like, bro, we need to go. And he's like, I'm not leaving until every one of our dudes are outside of the venue or wherever it is we're doing. I'm not leaving until I talk to everybody who wants to talk to me. I'm not leaving until all of our guys are out of there. Right. And this is like, bro, we're in a bad position here. Like, this is a bad tactical position. Y'all know Uncle Saint's former military. I'm like, bro, this is not good. And we just came out the club. None of us are armed. Like, what? You couldn't. Myron was like, I'm staying here until everybody comes out. Right. I haven't met this Brian guy out there on the West Coast in Santa Barbara, but I will tell you this, right? Hollywood people don't do that. They don't care. Hollywood people's like, well, the event's over, bye. The event's over, bye. They don't care. They don't want to hear your stories. They don't care. Right? So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, y'all. I ain't tripping. It ain't nothing. It's okay, cool. That's the difference. That's the difference. I can sit here and tell you right now, I've been out there with these dudes, and I already know. Like, man, somebody tell me if I'm lying. I've been with Fresh in the spot. I know how Fresh moves. I'm like, yo, bro, this guy knows what he's doing. Focused. I'm in there drinking, doing my thing. You know what I mean? I'm lit, Saint. He walking around 100% focused on what's going on in this spot. Like, what's up? You ready to go? Like, bro, you want something? I buy waters, man. I buy waters and Red Bulls. If Myron and Fresh out, we in the spot, I'm buying waters and Red Bulls for them. Myron will want a water or a Red Bull. Fresh will want water. That's it. Here you go, man. I would keep in my back pocket. I have a water and a Red Bull. Right? They walk up, I give, boom, here you go. Because I'm looking out for my dudes. Because they look out for people. I look out for those who look out for people, man. That's what I try to do, man. That's my little thing. But yeah, the level up man is 100% correct. And it's not a bad thing, man. Get your money, bro. I say the same thing about the women. You women out there, man, if you got you a simpleton and you can run his pockets easily, man, go ahead and run his pockets, man. Get that money. If he wants to give it to you, take it. He wants to give you a pair of red bottoms. I've done it before. If he wants to give you a pair of red bottoms, take it. If he wants to be a simpleton, man, let him be a simpleton. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You ain't doing nothing wrong. It's up to him to understand the game, just like it's up to her to understand the game. Just like these women who fall prey to the people like the Tinder swindler or whatever. They fall prey to Pookies and Ray Rays. That's on you, shawty. That's on you, baby. All you got to do is decide who is worthy of your love, of your most intimate parts. Who's worthy of the Foxy Brown? And you giving it to some dude who just selling you a dream? I mean, that's on you. If you go out in the bar and some dude comes up at you like this,
holla, 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 let me holler at you, let me holler at you, let me holler.
And you let him smash, that's on you. Right? That's on you. That's the game, people. Y'all better stop acting like y'all don't understand that. That's the game. Don't get it twisted. This is how it works. Learn the game, understand the game, and master the game. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Right? I ain't mad at nobody. I'm not mad at all. If she run your pockets, fine. If you manage to get her, you get that one night stand, you get that Foxy Brown for nothing, fine. You know what I mean? You get that three-way, fine. I ain't mad. It don't cost you nothing. Some other dude paying for everything, even better. Understand the game. Let's get back to the video.
There you go.
There's your answer. What do you got to say to that?
I appreciate you being forthcoming with it, man. Anytime that it was mentioned, I knew that you didn't want to go into their names, and I was being respectful of that. And the fact that you allowed me to mention their names, I appreciate you giving a straightforward answer with that. So if it's cool, I'd like to go on to the next criticism.
Yeah, sure, man. But yeah, again, here's the thing. A lot of y'all asked that question, so I figured, bro, we might as well just address this because a lot of y'all don't know why, and people look at it as like, oh, Fresh and Fit thinks they're too high and mighty, or they're assholes, or blah blah blah. Guys, trust me, there's very valid reasons why we might not necessarily collab with someone. It's not like us, and you guys have seen us bring guys on that we worked with before, right? Donovan Sharp, Minister Jap, Rolo Tomasi, John from Modern Life Dating, Troy Francis, etc. Like, we bring them on. We have no problem, Lucario, we have no problem working with people that we worked with before and bringing them up with us. It's not about the clout and the money with us.
I remember we were super small trying to get guests for the show. They don't want to work with us at all. Now that we're big, you want to double back now? So to me, it's kind of like, hey, we're just keeping it 100.
Yeah,
from day one.
Not saying that I don't know if whatever had reached out to us before that. Oh, they did?
Yeah. You forgot he was a prank channel first.
No, I know that, but I didn't know he had reached out before. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, he was just trying to, I guess, change gears and change avenue of content and want to use us as that, segue.
Okay.
But nah.
Yeah. So my
you see right there. Fresh probably reached out to dude like, hey, what's up? Let's do something. And then dude was like, whatever. Okay, fine. Cool. But when dude realized that the prank thing was over and he had to evolve, who did he go to? He went to the heavy hitters. He went right to Fresh and Fit. Right? Invest his money, got the studio all set up, got all the microphones in there, got the computers, everything he needed, the lights, whatever, all this stuff. He's like, all right, now I'm ready. Let me go holler at Fresh and Fit because that'll put me on. That's Hollywood. That's how they think in Hollywood. That's how the game works. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Right? What can you do for me? That's Hollywood, bro. Myron and Fresh, especially, you see, Myron didn't even know because Fresh handles that. Myron takes care of the tech stuff, right? And he takes, and they both have a hand in networking, but it's Fresh who's out there in the trenches, right? On the point, on the front lines, out there getting it on. What's up? What's up? Hey, he's reaching out to everybody. That's Fresh. Y'all keep saying Fresh don't do nothing. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. That's Fresh out there doing that. And Fresh like, okay, I remember. Oh, you was brand new back then a year ago. Myron and Fresh ain't been doing this 3 years yet. So you was just brand new a minute ago. Now you want to come over here? Nah, man, we ain't hollering at you, bro. No. Right? It's not all about the money with Myron and Fresh. They're leaving a lot of money on the table. A lot of money on the table. If they rock with you, they rock with you. Anybody who watches this, when they went in that first episode they did, when they went into the new studio, first episode, I saw him and I was happy for him. Man, I said in the super chat, like, yo, I see y'all keep leading from the front. Do your thing. Right? Myron and Fresh took, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 minutes, something like that, 10 minutes to talk about me. Like, yo, that's our dude. Fresh was like, yeah, that's the uncle of the group. Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I was sitting here like, oh, man, I felt good. I felt good. They were like, nah, man, that's our guy. He's been there from the, he's always at the events. He comes through. And Myron was telling people like, yeah, I talked to him about some stuff. I was shocked. I was like, okay, I mean, it's cool, but he put it out there. You know what I mean? And he ain't get paid for that. You know what I mean? Like he ain't get paid for that. He just showing love, man. Like I said, loyalty, man. They look at that. They look at it that way. Does that mean we agree on everything? No, we talk all the time. We go back and forth. Like I said, man, it's fam, bro. We can sit in the car and go back and forth. We can scream at each other if we want to. You know what I mean? Sitting in the car like, man, whatever, bro. But it is what it is. When someone has your best interest at heart, man, that's you going, you know what I'm saying? You're going to allow that. It's just passion. And I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. So yeah, man, like this dude, if Brian from whatever podcast had been upfront and been noble in his, in the way he moved, if he wasn't Hollywood, boom, he'd have been on Fresh and Fit. No problem. They'll be like, come on through. Probably would have paid for him to come out and everything. Because they do that. They pull out the stops, man. They take care of folks when they bring them on their platform, man. They take care of it, man. They take care of business. I mean, it's crazy. We got Brother Jack Black in the building. What's good, Night? You know what I mean? Like Cody's King is in the building, man. This is my brother from up north. It's like, what up, BL? We talking shit about whatever. A little bit. I'm getting on whatever for his response, bro. I'm not necessarily like I ain't trying to trash him, but I gotta talk about his response, bro. Like, dude got all up in his feelings, man. I gotta talk about it. I gotta talk about it because Myron and Fresh was like, we ain't trying to work with you. Like, we wish you all the luck in the world, bro. We ain't trying to work with you. They telling a fan, like, nah, man, you're not gonna see that happen. And this is why we think he's in it for the money. And think about that, man. He came over from prank channels. He decided to move into this space. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. He's like, you know what? I can do that after hours thing. I can get a bunch of girls on here. You know what I mean? Probably knew a million girls from doing the pranks. I can get a bunch of girls on here and we can have these conversations. And that's what he's doing. But Fresh and Fit ain't just the after hours, bro. It's the daytime shows that people need to be watching. That's where you're going to learn how to level up. It's the daytime shows when they're talking about credit. They're talking about getting your money right. They're talking about building your credit or fixing your credit. They're talking about real estate, right? They're talking about fitness, right? That's where you're actually going to learn something. The nighttime shows, man, I mean, everybody watches it. That's a train wreck. It's a train wreck, bro. And just like on the freeway, if you see a crash, everybody slows down and look at the crash. That drives me crazy. Like, you ain't never seen a car crash before? But this dude moved into the space so he can keep his company, his business going. I'm not mad at him. But there's no need to be mad because Fresh and Myron don't want to work with you. That's just, nah. Like, that's it. Right. And look at Cody. Like, dude's extremely soft, boring to watch. Facts. Right. When we get into the other clip, dude has some extra to say about Fresh. It's funny, everybody want to come at Fresh. Like, everybody want to come at Fresh. Why does everybody want to come at Fresh? Like, what has this man did to anybody? Like, this dude out here just doing this thing. I hit Fresh up the other day. Like, man, I'm sick of these bum ass niggas coming at you, bro. He was like, man, it's fine. He was like, it's fine. Y'all don't even know the guy. But everybody gets something to say about Fresh, bro. It just burns me up, man. Like, yo, Walter, he's a real one. He's a real dude. This man is legit millionaire now. He's doing this thing. He'll still come pick you up. He ain't too big to drop you off. If he see I'm walking around Brickell just doing my thing, you know, whenever I'm in Miami, I'm just walking around Brickell because I love it. Man, Fresh see me, man, he'll pull right up like, man, what's up? Where you going? Get in. All right, man, I'm just walking around. Like, well, shoot, I'm finna run over here, man. You want to come on over here with me then? Right? I get into the clubs because they're like, you're Fresh's uncle. Why do they think I'm Fresh's uncle? Because Fresh was like, this is my uncle. Right? I can walk right into Komodo, man. Walk right into Vendome. He don't have to do any of that, man. He's a good dude, bro. If I got a question, like, hey, man, I got a question about this, man. I'm this YouTube thing, or I got a question about this networking thing. Bro, he hits me right back. Hey, man, try this, or, you might want to try that, or holler at this person. I'm going to tell him you're going to hit him up. Here's the number. Holler at this person. He ain't did nothing to nobody. And he's a legit good person in real life, man. All he's doing is just, this guy came from another country. Yeah, he's an American, but he was raised somewhere else, came to this country and became a millionaire, bro. And y'all got all this hate for him? Why y'all gonna hate on this guy? Well, why you hating on this dude? Right? Won't you do what he did? Everybody keeps saying how easy it is to be the second on Fresh and Fit. Well, why don't you do it? Why don't you go find somebody and set up a platform and go out here and make this happen, bro? Why don't you do it? Why don't you go out here and network in Miami or New York or LA or Atlanta or DC? Pick a city. Go out there and network to the point where everyone in the city pretty much knows you. Like, all the club promoters, most of the club owners, most of the management types out there, they know Fresh. They're like, yo, you know what? Like, yeah, I know. Walt. Boom, 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 boom. Here, look. Come on in. He don't be tripping, bro. I don't understand why people be hating on Fresh, man. I was lit the night I came home and it was somebody hating on him on something. It just happened to be on. I was lit, bro. It was like 2 a.m. I was pacing. I was mad. It was the alcohol, yeah. It was the alcohol. But the thing is, dude, real cool, man. He just cool, bro. He does things, bro. Like he does so many things that y'all don't see. He doesn't have to do it. So many things, bro. Like, I don't know if y'all followed him on his channel, but I remember once him, Myron, and some of the other guys were having a meeting somewhere. I think they were in Wynwood, and he came out the meeting. This is dude looking at this when he had the Evo. I think it's an Evo. Y'all who know the cars, correct me if I'm wrong, but he had his first, the first Lamborghini he had. And he come out, you know what I mean? He see this dude like taking pictures of it. He's looking at it. It's some dude from Peru or something like that, right? Just happened to be, you know, in the area. And Fresh was like, wow, that's a nice car, huh? Dude was like, man, that car is so nice. Boy, one day, maybe if I work hard, I would love to be able to get a car like that. You know, the dude knew the car. He's like talking to Fresh about the car. This is all film. He put it on this thing. He put it on his channel. I don't know if it's still up. It's a wonderful thing to see. So Fresh is just kind of talking to dude like, yeah, you know, and he opens the car, like, you know, like doop, doop, opens the car. It's like, hey, man, go ahead, have a look inside. Dude was like, what? This is your car? It's like, yeah, it's my car, man. Have a look at it. Go ahead. Open it, showed him how to open the door. That's how you open the door. Have a seat, bro. Dude got in the car. He was like, want to take a ride? Myron and the other guys like, what are you doing, man? We got to get going. Fresh like, hold on, give me a minute. He gave dude a ride around the block in the Lamborghini. Gave dude a ride around the block. The guy was going crazy, man. He looked like a 7-year-old or something, man. He looked like at Christmas time, this young dude. Right? He probably never get another chance to get into a Lamborghini unless he owns the Lamborghini. Right? This dude from Peru or wherever he was from in South America. And Fresh was like, yeah, man. He was like, you know, when I first came to America, I used to see the guys pulling up in McLarens and Lamborghinis, and I would ask them, hey, man, what do you do? How'd you get this car and all this? And that's how Fresh got started. So he was like, so who knows? This young guy right here, 5 years from now, he might be back up here on a yacht, private jet, you know what I mean? Lambo, all that. Because Fresh, you know what I'm saying? Took a little time out to, hey, man, why don't you jump in here, man, show a little something, you know what I mean? Show, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, man, I could be off, man, whatever, but I'm just saying, bro, he didn't have to do that. He did not have to do that. You feel me? I guarantee you that guy will never forget it. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. Look, Brother Penny's like, they're talking about real estate right now. Yeah, facts. Right there, right now, talking about how to level up. Right now. I started late, otherwise I'll be over there watching. I hate it when I have to, I'm always going back and watching the early shows, man. It's like, I gotta go at 6. I know Fresh and Myron only do, Fresh and Fit does Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I gotta go Monday through Thursday. So, it's like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But yeah, they're over there right now talking about leveling up. Dr. B is like, most people don't know that the daytime shows are what Fresh and Fit first started doing. Facts. They did talk about dating at that time, but the After Hours was born months after they first started doing shows, right? I went back a few months, not about 6 months ago. I went back and I went through their entire catalog. I started from the very beginning. From the very beginning, when it was just Unplugged Fit, and I couldn't even find Fresh's prank stuff. But just on, like, before it was Fresh and Fit and then became Fresh and Fit, and you can see that Myron was kind of looking for that second. He was looking for a good matchup, and Solo TV 84, something like that, was like, yo, y'all should connect. You know what I'm saying? And you can see the very early stuff and what they were doing. And yeah, man, they were doing their thing. They talked about dating. They was, trying to figure out the formula. And then, those who know that story, one night they was on a double date. They was in the studio, and Fresh was like, yo, let's just go live right now. The rest is history. They're on their dates. They just went live, started talking to the women. Boom. It just blew up from there. You know what I mean? And Jack Black, Brother Jack, was saying, the weird Asian chicks always being on camera weirds me out. Right. That's that. Whatever podcast. Like I said, man, it's West Coast folks, man. There's some weirdos out there, bro. I mean, they're sweet and all. They're nice weirdos, but yeah, she's sitting there with a little Kaiser hat on. Sometimes she'll have a little baby, like a little black baby, a toy baby. Like, what's wrong? It's like, bro, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? What is this? But you're right about that, bro. That's some weird. That's some weirdness. Brother Penny's like, they know if they come at Myron, they'll get smoked. Is that what it is? Yeah. Like they go after Fresh, I guess. Man, just don't. Why hate somebody, bro? All that energy it takes to hate somebody, man, put that energy into making yourself better. Like, why hate someone? At least have a reason to hate them. Did Fresh smash 1,000 women? I don't know. Right? I don't know, and I don't care. But are you asking me if Fresh know how to get on with women? Can he womanize? Absolutely. Is he smashing a bunch of women? Yes. Have I seen him run through his crib? Yes. Has Myron seen it? Yes. He knows what he's doing. Especially now, he don't even have to holler at them. They come at him. So nah, you know what I mean? Has he done 1,000? Man, I don't know. Is it possible to get numbers like that in Miami? Yes. It certainly is. If y'all haven't been to Miami, treat yourself. Yeah. Yeah, that's the daytime show. Yeah, Last Good Man in Jersey. How did you first connect with Fresh and Fit? I fell down the red pill. I fell down the red pill rabbit hole when I first moved to Tampa from LA. So it was about 3 years ago, right? I got here at the very end of 2019, like right, basically November 2019. I think it was December or something like that. I got here. So January 2020, I was here and I fell down the red pill rabbit hole. I'm trying to say, sorry about that, guys. I fell down that rabbit hole because I was dealing with some young woman and I didn't realize what was going on. Like I wasn't able to adjust properly to the game. And then I got ghosted and I didn't know what being ghosted was. I mean, it's called ghosting, ghosting someone, but I didn't know at the time. I'm like, what is this? You just go from this level of communication to nothing. I didn't know what that was. It took me a week to even figure out I got ghosted, right? So I didn't know. So I fell down that, started looking for stuff. What do? Men start looking for answers, right? I'm like, let me see if I can look it up. And I started looking up stuff on relationships and all sorts of, that's how I found Kevin Samuels and all sorts of different people. It was a couple people I found who's quote unquote specialize in all this, men and women or whatever, right? I saw some Donovan Sharp stuff. I saw some Coach Greg Adams stuff. I saw some Rollo Tomasi stuff. Kevin Samuels in it. Bam, I saw Fresh and Fit. And I started watching Fresh and Fit because Kevin Samuels was talking about them. I started watching Fresh and Fit. They were coming up on 100,000 subscribers, right? So I'm watching Fresh and Fit, and I'm like, I think I'm going to rock with this platform. I think I'm going to rock with these guys. They're in Miami. They were planning their 100,000 subscriber party. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go down there and see what's up with these dudes. Because I'm not going to support someone that I don't really know. Like, here's an opportunity for me to go down here and actually see what's up with these dudes, right? So I went down for the 100,000 party. And that's how we connected. We've been tight ever since. And like I said, 100,000 party, there was some hiccups that night. And those who know, right? What I'm talking about, those that know, they know. There was some hiccups that night. But Myron and Fresh did their best to make it right. They wound up paying a lot of money. Right. So if they had a profit on that event, they surely lost that profit before they left the initial venue, which was just a horrible location and all this other kind of stuff. But Myron and Fresh bought out the bar. They took care of everybody and then moved the event to Blackbird in Brickell. And by that time, I got a chance to talk to Myron. I was talking to Fresh. They had a lot on, even though they had a lot on their mind, things were not going right. I could tell. Like that night, Myron was ready to fight. I am not exaggerating. Myron was ready to grab a couple dudes. They just couple whiny ass little dudes. Myron was ready to deal with them. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, hey, nah, don't do that, bro. But we were in the spot to do it. If you want to turn it up like that, we was in the spot to do it because we was in the hood. This place was crazy. But he had a lot on his mind. He was not happy with the situation. Fresh was not happy with the situation. It's like, well, hopefully they'll learn from this. We wound up moving the whole thing to Brickell, Blackbird. And, got a couple bottles. I was like, nah, man, I'm going to get a couple bottles. Myron the Fresh, like, you ain't got to do that because there was no cover, whatever. Like, nah, bro, I got it. Like, I'm rocking with y'all, man. I got it. So we went in. I got a bottle. We got a cool little spot right next to the stage. We had Organic was with us. Mr. Organic was there. I wanted to make sure because Fresh was like, no, you sit here, Saint. And I'm like, nah. Put Organic there. You know what I mean? That's Take Care Organic. That's y'all guy, man. He's, you know what I'm saying? He's the VIP tonight. You take care of him. Like I said, I'm on your team now, bro. Don't worry about me. Take care of him. And then the people who had the best booth was sitting right next to us. They recognized Fresh and Myron. A couple of the dudes there were like, yo, they follow Fresh and Fit. So they were like, look, we're about to leave. Just move over here, take this section. We're about to leave. Just, you know, we're going to cash out. You cash out, but just slide in here. So we slid into that section. I got another bottle. But by that time, the group got big, man. People started showing up, and then people started buying bottles. Right? And this is Blackberry. It's not like we were dropping, you know, $1,500, $2,500 a bottle. Now we weren't even doing that. Blackberry, you get in there for $200, $225, get yourself a bottle, right? You know what I mean? I think I spent $250. I got two bottles, like maybe $500 that night, maybe. I can't remember, but people started buying bottles, and like the group got bigger. And by that time, you know, Organic, he's sitting up on the stage. He up there doing his Gorgal thing, or how you pronounce that word? Gargoyle. Can't say that word, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Gargoyle. He was doing that thing. He was up there posted up. Man, we closed the place down, bro. We was in there till it was over. And it was funny when we came out of there, you know, I'm headed back to the telly. And I'm not making none of this up, man. You can holler anybody who was there, man. They'll tell you this is why it went down. Like I'm walking up out of there, and you know, Eric saying goodbye to everybody. All right, man, holler at you, whatever. Then Myron saw me, was like, man, don't be paying to smash nobody. I'm like, man, y'all got all my trick and money. Y'all got it all right here, the 2 bottles and everything else. So we had a good time. But that's how we linked up. And from that point forward, they kept in touch with me. I sent in a super chat, and they're like, yo, that Saint, he came through, man. That's our guy. You know what I mean? Myron and Fresh would talk about it. Like, I don't know if you have to go to Rumble to find those videos. I think that's where they put their libraries on Rumble now. But Fresh and Myron were both like, yeah, that's our guy, man. He came through, he rocked with us. It wasn't just me. It was mass other people, right? And Fresh was like, you ever come back down here? We got you, bro. We got you. You ever come back down here? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be down there. You know, I'll be down there next month. And sure enough, I showed up the following month. I'm down there. I'm hitting up Fresh. Like, what's up, man? I'm down here. He was like, yo, we at Komodo, pull up. I'm like, all right, bet. Give me like 40 minutes or so, man. I'm gonna be up there. You know what I mean? I had something I was doing. I'm gonna be up there. So I get there, and this is something that y'all need to understand, especially if as dudes, y'all need to understand this part. You have to be able to do for yourself as a man. If someone tells you to meet up at a spot, I don't need you to put me on the list. I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna finesse my way in. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna pay to get myself in there. I go by myself. I know how to dress. You have to do these things, right? I mean, it's because if you can just show up somewhere and be where they're at, that adds to your value right off rip. They're like, dude, how did he get in here? I mean, that's just right. He's like, okay, that's a real one. He got in here. So they told me to pull up at Komodo. Went to Komodo, did what I did, got upstairs. And I'm like, yo, I'm up here. He's like, we by the DJ booth. Like, I'm right in front of the DJ booth. Then I look off to my right. He's like, right here, bro. I'm like, oh, there you go. It was Fresh and Chris. And man, that night it was bottles coming, bro. It was bottles. Like, Chris ordered like 3 bottles, like XO Hennessy, bottle of 1942, and there's another bottle of something I can't remember what it was. Bottles coming out. Now we in Komodo. This ain't Blackberry prices, bro. We in Komodo. You know what I mean? So I'm like, whoa. I'm looking up like, hey, man, that ain't no joke. Bottles coming out. There was people in the sections just pulling up, whatever. It was cool. You could tell, like, you know, networking, everybody doing their thing. And Fresh was like, we about to bounce, man. We finna go to the next joint. You want to go? I'm like, yeah, I'll go. So I reach in my pocket. I pull out some bread. Like, here you go, man. He was like, nah. You can't pay for nothing. You took care of Blackberry. You can't pay for nothing, man. You with us. Fair enough. You know what I mean? Fair enough. And then we had linked up with some women from San Bernardino, California, man. It was a group of these cute little Asian chicks, man. It was fine, bro. It was about 6 of them. They was fine. Linked up with them. We had a few others. We all wound up going to some strip club, some after hours joint. We all went there. And then, you know, was there for a couple hours and called it a night. And even that night, I was like, all right, bro, I'm about to give me an Uber, about to go home. He was like, nah, man, I'm taking you. Where you stand at the hotel? You're W, right? I'm like, yeah, like, I'm taking you, bro. Shoved me in the car with all the Asian chicks, man. He's driving. He's driving back to the W. Took me back to Brooklyn. He ain't have to do none of that, man. None of that. And like I said, man, I've been rocking with Mine and Fresh ever since. Ever since, man. I'm trying to catch up on the chat. So yeah, man, that's how I rocked out with Mine and Fresh. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. Brother Timothy's in the building. What's good, fam? ADL, I think it's because they look at Fresh and they don't believe him. Yeah, bro, facts, man. Facts. There's no way I can't do it, so there's no way he can do it. Trust me, he's doing it, y'all. He's doing it. You know what I mean? 17 live shout out. I appreciate that. Yeah, we got out to almost to 20. We have some people in here. Sister Rosalind, what's good, sis? How you feeling? I hope you're feeling better. Hope all is well on your end. So glad you're here. You know, Dr. B is like Fresh and Fit are the originators of the After Hours show concept. Facts. They're the flagship, bro. They are the flagship. They stumbled into it, however you want to look at it, but they got it down to a science and they made it work. Even Kevin Samuels, when he was alive, he was saying that. He was like, bro, look at these, bro. He's always point to Fresh and Fit. He's like, this is how men get down. They built a studio. They did all this stuff. They made some serious life choices and it panned out for them, man. I'm happy for them, man. I'm glad that they are worth what they're worth. I'm glad they're 7 figures plus. I'm glad that they could walk away from this at any moment and be good for the rest of their life. I'm glad Fresh was able to take care of his moms. He can retire his moms. He can take care of his family. Same with Myron. I'm glad, bro. I'm not mad. And these dudes ain't out here, like I said, these dudes ain't out here hating. They doing their best to help. You know, I mean, Dr. B was saying, honestly, every time I go down there, I can see why Fresh has such a high body count, especially if you like Latinas, LOL. Bro, I'm like, listen, that guy game is master level. Master level. And like in Miami, and Dr. B will tell you, ain't nothing but dimes down there, y'all. It's beautiful women down there. Most Americans don't understand how pretty the women are in Miami. It's the gateways to the Americas, bro. It's the gateway. They all down there. Some of the finest women I've ever seen in my life are down there, bro. It's not all just Latinas, man. You got Russians down there. You got Haitians down there, man. They in there, man. You got Asians starting to come out there now. Everyone in Miami keeps their body together, man. I ain't saying ain't no fat people down there, but what I am saying is women come down there and they look at the competition and they get into the gym for real. They get on their diet for real. You ain't gonna be down there and be pudgy and think you gonna do something. All of the pudgy women, they tourists. Women who live down there, bro, they keep it together. You know what I mean? For a reason. You know what I mean? Brother Jack is saying not even 3 years of smashing one chick a day. Fresh got that. And like I said, man, I don't know where his count is, and I don't care. All I know is that dude has game. So I ain't got no problem going anywhere with him because I ain't got to worry about him screwing it up. He going to pull what he's supposed to pull. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, and it's all gravy. But, you know, is it hard to rack up a body count like that in Miami? Nope. Your brother Tim's like, hey, Dio, have you watched Obsidian and Bernard Riley? No, I don't watch them. I've heard of them. I heard Donovan Sharp talks about them, but I've never watched. I don't know who they are. I've never watched them. You know what I mean? Brother Christopher's in the building. Like, I've always felt that Aura and Fresh dude is a real MF. Yeah, I've always felt that the aura from Fresh. I felt that aura from Fresh. Sorry for messing that up. Dude is real. He's a real motherfucker. People calling him a grifter is straight dog shit. You can call whoever you want to call a grifter. You know what I mean? And brother Chris, appreciate you, bro. That's for you, man. You can call whoever you want to call a grifter. That's fine. But I challenge you to go actually meet that person and see what's up with them. You know what I'm saying? Just have a conversation with them, see what's up with them. And I told all these stories and said all these things to say that Myron and Fresh they've left a lot of money on the table. They could get a lot more money. I make up that number, that 45%. They could be making 45% more income. I'm gonna stick to that, bro. Of all the money they made, they could have made 45% more, in my opinion. They're not. If you're a grifter, it's all about the money. It's all about the views. It's all about the clout. Every move you make is calculated to get you to more money, to more views, to more clout. These dudes, if they were grifters, it would be dumb to pass up a collab with whatever podcast, especially when you're viewers are damn near demanding it. And they said no. They said no. They denied their group, their supporters, what they want. Not the supporters, more of the fans. I think there's a difference between the supporters and the fans. Not all fans are supporters. You feel me? But Myron and Fresh could collab with Just Pearly Things and whatever. If they was about that money, that's what they would have done. And they're saying no. That takes money out of their pocket right there. Right there. That takes money out of their pocket. They're not afraid to say no. Like, all money ain't good money. They understand that. Now they'll do some stuff like collab with Nick Fuentes. Like them my boys. I said what I had to say about it, and I'm done. Like I'm done with it. It is what it is. So it's not as if they're afraid to collab with certain folks. They're doing what they want to do. They're doing what they want to do. What happened to Bianca? Bianca's still down there, bro. Bianca's down there, man. She's an Instagram model. Like, you can follow her on it's like Bianca something 07 or Bianca something 7 on Instagram. You can find her through my Instagram if you're looking for her. She's a beautiful woman. She's just doing her thing. I don't know if you will see her on Fresh and Fit again. I don't know. I don't know, because she's been real busy with what she's doing. But you might see like Fresh and Myron do like a collab with her, maybe a fitness thing, like working out or something like that. Maybe something like that would happen. I don't know. But that's a beautiful woman, bro. I bumped into her at an art festival in Coconut Grove. In Coconut Grove once, just on a run. Me and my cousin was just walking around, man. Just happened to look up and saw her. Like, Bianca, bro, shorty fine. Like, shorty is fine. She fine. Like we used to say when I was a kid, when I was young, we was in our young 20s. We were like, man, she's so fine. You got to put a T on it. She fine. That's what we used to say. Boy, she fine with a T. Fine. But yeah, bro. She good people, man. Like I said, we chopped it up, man. She was with 3 or 4 of her homegirls. And she was like very happy to have a conversation. Like, yeah, from Fresh and Fit. Oh my gosh, you're like, that whole thing, right? She gave me a hug or whatever. I'm like, yo, that's what's up. What you doing here? Like, oh, we just checking it out. It's like, cool. That's what's up. That's what's up. And then I saw her on Fresh and Fit. Not long after that, she was sitting next to Academics was on. She was sitting next to Academic. And I sent in a super chat, and it was like, for her, I was like, yo, this is, just want to say it was a pleasure meeting you, girl. You know what I'm saying? I met you. I said, love. It was a pleasure meeting you, love. I saw you at the art event in Coconut Grove. She just lit up. She was like, yeah, I remember. Hey. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I gotta see, man. I keep trying to tell y'all, the women in Miami play fair. I don't care how fine she is. If you can walk up and say hello and not be a weirdo, you will at least get a conversation. At least get a conversation. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to the video. I done lost track of where I was supposed to be. I ain't even write no notes down here. Let's get back to the video.
My point is, I'm trying to say is this: we don't have an issue with growing with other people or helping other people at all. And y'all guys have seen it, where we bring guys on, right, that don't necessarily, I'll keep it 1,000. It might not benefit us to bring us on, but we started with them, we end with them.
Yeah, from the beginning.
As a matter of fact, keep it 1,000 with y'all, we'll probably get more benefit from collabing with a Pearl or whatever than bringing some of the guys on the show. Yeah. We don't give a fuck about money. Loyalty is everything. Integrity is everything. I don't have to benefit from a collab for me to do it if it's with people that I rock with. I'd rather do it with someone that I rock with, where I might not get benefit and they get benefit, versus doing it with someone where I get benefit, but I don't align with that individual.
For example, people hate Marquette. We brought him on. He showed his brilliance, his intelligence, his, I want to say, wealth of knowledge. No, you guys love him. It's like, on some level, loyalty does pay off. So, I mean,
and Marquette, again, y'all can say what y'all want to say about him, but the man has integrity. He was with us when people were talking shit. Yep. Right. He came and did a collab with us when he didn't have to. And then on top of that, y'all might say, oh, he talks shit about Fresh&Fit, blah, blah, blah. Nigga, that's clickbait. Y'all don't see his titles, he's clickbait. And we don't have an issue with that. And here's the other thing too, and I don't want to pull the curtain too much on this, but he always hits me up on the side. So the man is a man of honor. The man is a man of integrity. You guys might not see it outwardly, but trust me, he's a man of integrity. Unlike some other individuals.
And also off camera, He'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
So don't play around,
Yeah,
bro.
there's a reason why O'Shea don't make videos on him.
Don't play
Bitch-ass
with that nigga, bro.
Yeah,
Stop playing with that
he
nigga,
made
man.
O'Shea literally run like a fucking dog between his legs, man. So that the dude is the real deal. He's
Yeah.
actually out here doing shit. He's a man of integrity. He's a man of
businessman.
honor. So we rock with him. Don't trust me when he puts videos out that you guys might think it's us. Trust me, it's clickbait, and he always hits us up on the side. So he's a real nigga, man. I fuck with Marquette heavy. Every time we're in Vegas, he rolls out the red carpet. He helps us out.
Yep.
He takes care of us, bro. Like again, relationships, integrity, honor. That's what I value. I don't give a fuck about money. I just bought my 16th house. Okay. It's about relationships with individuals that I respect. We could probably make a bag or make a bunch of, grow our channel significantly by collabing with some of these creators that you guys mentioned, but that's not what we care about.
And sponsors too. By the way, you guys don't see what happens off camera, but that does say a lot about who comes on the show as well. So there you go.
Yeah.
You know, there it is right there. They're not lying. They are leaving a lot of money on the table, right? A lot of money on the table. So we're gonna stop that there. I do want to rock out with the other video, and this is Shah. Shout out to Brother Shah. I'm gonna pull this up real quick. And this is the video where we're gonna see. And I know it took a long time to get to it, but you're gonna see just keep me 100, man. You're gonna see a little bit of the. I'm not gonna call it hate, but you're gonna see the anger. Let's call it anger, coming from whatever podcast coming from Brian. Brother Ted's in the building. What's good, fam? Always a pleasure to see you. And yeah, Dr. B, man, Bianca is bad, man. Like, look, Bianca fine, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. She is. She's on my top 20 list of most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. I'm talking that's global, right? She's definitely on my top 20 list. She fine like that, bro. All natural, no upgrades. She just stays in the gym. You know, she's man. Look, like, and I'm pretty sure she got someone she's dealing with, man. But just doing this Instagram modeling thing, and she's getting sponsorships like that. And I'm just going off of what I see on Instagram. Yeah, she does. That's all I said about that, man. Little shorty's fine. There's a lot of women that look like that in Miami. They look like Bianca. They'll be working at a small little Greasy Spoon diner somewhere. They might be working at the airport in concessions or something like that, bro. I'm not, dude. They down there. The only place, especially if you're into Latinas, the only place that I've seen that has more beautiful women in Miami, you got to go down to Colombia. Right now, you got to leave the country. You got to go to Colombia. You might go to Aruba, DR, Brazil, like that kind of stuff. And there's some very beautiful women in Spain. If you want to cross the Atlantic, you go over to Spain, Greece, France. You know what I mean? There's some beautiful women over there as well. But in America, I would say Miami is definitely the mecca for that type of beauty if you're into that. And then, of course, LA, Vegas. I would say LA, Vegas 2 and 3, whichever you want to put first. LA, Vegas 2 or 3. Vegas because you have women from all over the world who go to Vegas, and then LA because it's LA, bro. Like, some beautiful women of Mexican descent out there in LA, bro. And then you also have like Armenians, you have Ethiopians, you have Korean, Vietnamese, Chinese, Laotian. Like you have, bro, it's a nice melting pot out there for exotic looking women in LA, but they could be very difficult to talk to. LA is a different culture. Like, Southern California, SoCal is different. All of California, really. I'm not even going to put it on SoCal. All of California. It's a little different. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing out there on the West Coast. Like to talk to women, you really got to know what you're doing. Especially in LA, because you come across a Shaniqua, you come across a Maria that's gang affiliated, bro. They'll have you, man, look, you'll find yourself in a situation. And they don't even do it on purpose. It's just they part of that world, bro. It's like Pac-Man on what was that movie? Colors. Like Pac-Man in Colors. He didn't know, fell in love with, a señorita from the barrio, and he didn't know. So it goes down like that. You gotta have game, gotta know what you're doing, gotta know how to move. Whereas in Miami, you don't necessarily need to know how to move. You need a little bit of game, just understanding of what's going on. But you can come up on a beautiful woman and not be like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, I don't know what to do. Nah, you don't do that. Don't be the deer in the headlights. Be the deer in the headlights, but it's a wrap for you. you know what I mean? It is a wrap for you. Yeah, and Dr. B, you know what I'm talking about. Like, oh, yeah, he's seen many Biancas in the Brickle. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Like, and Danielle, hey, bro, listen, man, I'm trying to tell you, man, there's some dimes out there, bro. So let's get to this video right here. This video is, again, I Am Shah. Shout out to Brother Shah. Go check out. I'm a definitely have this video in the description and the other one we watched in the description. The other one was from Law of Distraction, something like that. That's an authorized Fresh and Fit, you know what I mean, supporter who puts up a lot of their clips and stuff like that. So shout out to him, or her, whoever that is. I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know who that is, but shout out to that person. But yeah, this video here gets into Brian's reaction and his comment on the page, that Fresh and Fit clip on that page. So let's check this out.
Shah. I found this clip from Fresh and Fit, and it stood out to me because he's asked like why he doesn't work with certain other content creators in the sphere. He basically says why he doesn't work with Pearl. Then he says why he doesn't work with whatever podcast, and he calls whatever podcast basically like just kind of in it for the money. And what's funny is that the whatever podcast channel then comes back and leaves a comment on this, basically accusing them of the same thing. And to me, this is fascinating because I sometimes think that a lot of the creators in the red pill or the manosphere space are just kind of grifters and trying to sell their products. It's just funny that they're calling each other out because I think it really reveals the truth of the situation. Let's go and watch the clip and just see what's going on.
Want to make sure we address this appropriately. Who are you talking about specifically?
Yeah,
go
exactly.
ahead. Go ahead.
Who in detail?
Who are you talking about specifically? And I'll go ahead and tell you why we don't work with
Just Pearly Things and whatever podcast.
I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, y'all might not know this, and I have no problem with Pearl personally, but she made a hit piece on us back when we were going through the fucking situation with Anus and Reach.
Yes.
And I know we just saw this. You know, it's like, come on, son, you gonna make us watch this again? Yes, I am.
Okay. I have a serious, you know, as you guys know, loyalty is extremely important to me. If you talk shit about me, I will not forget. And she made a hit piece on us. Y'all might not know about this, and I'm not saying this to attack or whatever, but facts are facts. She made a hit piece on us back when all this shit was going on in August of 2021. At the worst time, she kicked us when we were down.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't work with her. There's your.
I can get that. I mean, if someone makes a hit piece on you, I wouldn't see why you'd want to work with them. So that's easy.
Answer. And now, as far as whatever goes, the reason why we don't work with them is because I'm not going to align myself with someone that isn't a part of the red pill space for real. I'm going to just call it $1 million.
It's money.
He's here for money, bro.
Yeah.
Let's just call it all the way 1,000. He's here to make a buck, which is fine. I'm never going to knock someone for being a capitalist, but he's not really in this space to help men from what I can see. If you're out here selling pocket pussies and, you know, having, you know, long ass podcasts, you know, draw out clips, etc. I understand the business strategy, but we don't align with that because you guys have asked us 1,000,000 times. So I want to address this once and for all. Pearl, y'all know why. Whatever, we don't align in our belief system. That's not to knock him or who he is or how he runs his business. We actually wish him the best.
There you go.
But he doesn't have the same values as us. And I personally think he's in it for the money, and that's not why we're in it. We're in it for completely different reasons.
We're hitting like a little bit of a no true Scotsman here with a lot of these content creators and the red pill. And it's just interesting that he outright says, you know, they're just in it for the money. Because in my view, so many of these creators are. But let's go and look at whatever's response to this. Here's the comment below the video, and this is from whatever podcast. You can see the check marks. Let's read what they said. As for Myron's unsubstantiated claim that we're just in it for the money, so Fresh and Fit does their show for charity and out of the goodness of their heart, ? Fresh and Fit monetizes their audience way more than we do. Some of what they do, DMs on demand, 500, High Value Academy, 700. The High Value Academy thing is interesting to me because so many of these like red pill people who are supposedly advocating for men are selling these like high value man things. You know what I mean?
So the High Value Academy, fellas, did I miss something? When were they pushing that? What is that? I know about DMs on demand, and like I said, I just did a long rant or whatever, my version of a rant, old man's rant about it. I think DMs on demand is a great thing if they open it up and you are out there trying to max out on, you know, cyber dating or whatever, and being able to make yourself more attractive online, via Instagram or whatever, I think that's a worthwhile investment. I really do. Think about it. Tinder right now has the highest tier of Tinder is $500 a month. $500 a month, and it doesn't guarantee you anything, right? So you got people out there who are investing big money into that space, yo. So again, look, for $500 to get access to My Fresh, they're gonna look at your Instagram. They're gonna go through that with you with a fine tooth comb, and if you and just go through it. Fresh and they used to have Smash or Pass. Y'all remember that? Of course y'all do. People who rock with us. For those of y'all watch this on Team Replay, My Fresh on Fresh and Fit podcast used to do this segment. It was called Smash or Pass, where the guys would send in their Instagram, and the women on the panel would be like, would you smash this guy or would you pass on this guy? Like, not talk to this guy based on his Instagram, right? That's all DMs on Demand really is. It's showing you how, if a woman just looking at your Instagram, will she give you a shot? Right? That's all it is. And people might be thinking, well, that's real easy to figure out. It's not. It's not. It's especially if you're older, or if you're, nerdy dude, or if you've been focused on making money, or you've been down in mom's basement. Like, bro, it's a brave new world out there. These guys, they got the secret sauce. $500 to get in there and learn these tricks of the trade, so to speak, to find out what women are looking for. Smash or Pass episodes were amazing. That's back when I used to watch the nighttime shows a lot. They do Smash and Pass. They would do role playing and have the women approach Freshina and Myrina and Christina. That's what Myron Fresh and Chris would play the role of a woman, and the women on the panel would have to play the role of a man in a kind of go up and try to talk to him. And women just didn't know how to do it. It was amazing to see that. It was funny. And they don't do that too often. I don't think they do that anymore. I don't know. I don't get to watch the shows as much. But this is something that today's modern dating landscape has now. So it makes sense to me to invest the $500 to get this information. If your goal is to become more sought after by women, this is one of the things you would definitely want to invest in. It's no different than getting out there and investing in the gym, investing in your wardrobe, investing in cologne, investing in, like the extras, like get you a cool little timepiece. You don't have to go out and get a Rolex or RM, but go out and get yourself a real nice Citizen, or go get yourself a long jeans or something like that. It's the same thing. If your goal is to get on with women, these are some of the things you're going to have to do. So, and then you invest this money. And like I said, Fresh, especially Myron and Fresh used to do this on Fresh and Fit, but Fresh would do it when he would do his own live streams. He would bring women on and have the women look at your Instagram. And it was like, yeah, I would talk to this dude and this is why. Or I would not talk to this dude and this is why. That's all DMs on the Demand is. And last good managers, like invest in the passport. Invest in the passport. You can do that, man. But I keep telling you, brother, you still need to have game. You know what I mean? We went back and forth forever. It's like you still got to have that understanding, but absolutely invest in the passport. You can go somewhere else, right? And if you have enough game, you can go somewhere else, take that $500, get your passport, and have money to take a trip somewhere like the Philippines, or, you can go somewhere like DR, or, somewhere in Colombia or whatever, wherever you want to go. You go to Cuba, wherever you want to go. If you have enough understanding, you should do okay. But if you have zero game, now I would say invest that money in DMs on Demand. I would say join some sort of group, like get with some sort of clan, so you can talk to dudes who know what they're doing. They can kind of help you out as best they can, or invest in a coach. You can do that. But like, it's hard out there, y'all. It's hard out there. Let's continue.
And a lot of this whole sphere has been taken over by that high value man narrative, which I understand how it can work, and I understand how it can work for some people, and I understand self-improvement is important. But I think it's just as ridiculous as saying everybody can be rich.
And I forgot my train of thought there. What is dude? I really don't know what the High Value Academy was. Did Myron and Fresh do that? I don't know what that was. The High Value Academy. So someone let me know, because I don't know. Maybe I missed it. But yeah, let's continue.
And the truth is that's not feasible. Everybody can't be rich. You know what I mean? But this is everybody can be a high value man, and I did read Myron's book. I do have it, Why Women Deserve Less, and at the end of it, he basically just says, well, if you can be a high value man, then it's all on the women to carry the relationship. So you should try to be that. And in the meantime, you should make as much money and focus on you and just don't spend it on women. He's basically saying, like, don't simp. It's kind of implied that not everybody will make it. So I'll give him that a little bit. But it's like, what I remember is there was Andrew Tate. And Andrew Tate did the first, Hustlers University. He was making so much money and he blew up. And then all these other creators wanted to like be like him and copy that business model. So it's like, you got Fresh and Fit with this high value academy or whatever that is. Then you got Sneeko with this creativity kit. His was like the most obviously like, copying Andrew Tate in that way. And then Pearl has her own version. I think it's called Wife School or something like that. But to me, it's just all just a grift, like they're selling you a dream that most of us can't get. I mean, I'm just an average guy, and none of these schools are going to help out with that. But let's read the rest of the comment.
And we're going to get into the comment here in a second, but I agree with some of the things that Brother Shaw just said right there. And some of the stuff I'm like, not so much. True. The chances of you becoming the next Patrick Bet-David or the next Fresh and Fit, very, very small percentage of that happening. True. It's really difficult to be a millionaire. It really is. If your mission is to become better with game, better with your understanding of the sexual marketplace, better at womanizing, can you get into that top 20%? Can you gain the traits that women find attractive? Yes, you can. Absolutely, yes, you can. When people like Sneeko says that everyone can be a millionaire, I think everyone has the ability to become a millionaire in America if you're willing to put in the work. And, does Sneeko mean that? I don't know. Can everyone, then people say it's not enough money to go around for everyone to be a millionaire. There really is, to be honest with you. There really is. The 1% has all the wealth. I mean, $1 million is not a lot of money. You know what I mean? Just keeping it 100 with you. But I agree. Like, everyone's not going to be a millionaire because people aren't willing to put in the work to do it. It's a lot of work to be successful, a lot. And then there are other things that goes on in the world that we don't have control over. And it is what it is, right? It's tough. So I do agree, like most Americans, that the opportunity to be successful is here in America. Streets are paved with gold. People come to America from these very poor places and they do well. Right. So yeah, when you say, well, it's hope is for the average guy. Nah, like brother Shaw he can be successful, especially when we're talking about just the whole dating landscape and all that kind of stuff. He can absolutely be successful. Brother Timmy saying he looks like Eddie Monster Boy. Y'all wilding, but he can absolutely be successful in today's dating market. There's just certain things you got to learn. There's just you got to get up on game, and it can happen. Now, does that mean you're going to be a millionaire? No, but again, if your mission is to get on with women, we can help you get there. If you want to get to $1 million, you want to be a $10 million person. I don't know about that. You need to holler at Brandon Carter. You need to holler at Patrick Bet-David. You know what I mean? You need to holler at some of these other folks if that's your mission. Can it be done? It can be done, but it's just going to be very difficult. Now, can everyone be a millionaire? No, everyone's not going to put in the work, bro. They're just not. So let's continue.
Doing way more sponsorships, supplements, and peen pills every episode. Oh, wow. I didn't know Fresh and Fit was selling peen pills.
Me neither.
Selling tickets to sub-milestone parties, live events, hundreds of dollars. If anyone has exact dollar amounts, DM me on IG. Merch, $50 for a t-shirt. Fresh charges $3,000 for an hour consult, $1,000 for 20 minutes. Myron charges $900 for a 1 hour consult. Super chat.
So this is the part I'm talking about. This is by Brian from whatever podcast wrote this. He pocket watching right now. He pocket watching. Oh, I'm a grifter. I'm in it for the money, but Fresh charges $3,000 for an hour consult, $1,000 for 20 minutes. Myron charges $900 for an hour. Their merch, their t-shirts are $50. Right? Let's talk about the t-shirts. T-shirts are $50. How much money is Myron and Fresh making off of that? They don't make the shirt, right? They don't run the company that sells the shirts. They simply have the merch store open and they work it out with the company who does this, and the numbers get set where the numbers get set. You have to have a profit margin, right? Like, oh, they're getting $50 a t-shirt. It's like, okay. They getting $50 a t-shirt. Do they get the profit $50 from that t-shirt? No. From every t-shirt sold? No. Right? Whatever profit is made is split with the company that handles that. There's a company that handles that. They don't do it. That's not Myron. Myron doesn't have, and Fresh doesn't have the t-shirts and they're mailing them out to everybody. They contract that work out. So yeah, the price is gonna go up. It is what it is. They got the merch. Like, people want the merch. I got a bunch of Fresh and Fit merch. I should have put some on. I got a hoodie. I got a bunch of t-shirts. I like the hoodie. The hoodie is nice. Got a bunch of t-shirts. And yeah, I got it because it's them. I want to support the platform. If you want to talk to Myron and Fresh, you're gonna have to pay money, bro. It is what it is. These guys have gotten to a point where they are successful. A lot of people want to talk to them. A lot of people. You can look at when they do the call-in shows and stuff like that. It's people, the super chats and all that. There are people who want to talk to them about business opportunities. There are people out there who want to holler at them, whatever. You want to talk to them, that's what it's going to cost. It is what it is. Now, if Myron and Fresh was about the money, they will be charging me every time I call or every time I text. They will be charging me, and they don't. So they're not about the money. And it's not just me. It's a bunch of other people out there they cool with. They can get a hold of folks. It ain't big time, this and that. It's just regular folks who came up and support Fresh and Fit. But this dude mad. She's like, oh, you saying I'm just in it for the money. He is just in it for the money. This dude is not, this Brian guy's not a red pillar, bro. He's not that dude. And there's nothing wrong with that. He's not that guy. He's doing what he wants to do. He's out on the West Coast doing that West Coast thing. I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him at all. Like I said, I think your dude's probably tall. He's probably 6 feet, if not higher. He probably, close to it. He's got a bunch of money. He's got clout. That's all you need on the West Coast. Santa Barbara, LA, it don't matter. That's all you need. He can get in wherever you want to get in. He can go to the nightclubs. He can go to the lounges, which he says he doesn't do. I believe him. But he can get on wherever you want to get on at. He can do what he does. Women gonna come at him. They gonna see him riding around and doing whatever. They gonna see him. He could be driving around in the Prius, but have a place close to the beach in Santa Barbara, anywhere in Santa Barbara, bro. Like you doing good if you got some property in Santa Barbara. If you living in Santa Barbara, man. I mean, so he's not a red pillar. He ain't out there talking about he got crushed. He didn't fall into the space looking for answers. He just saw an opportunity to make some money, and he put together a platform. He brought some random women together, and he's making money. You know what I mean? And his feelings are hurt. Unsubstantiated claim. As for Myron's unsubstantiated claim that we're just in it for money, then what are you in it for? Whatever. If you ain't in it for money, shut off your monetization. It's easy to do. Just click it. Shut it off. I don't want to monetize these videos. Don't offer a community. Right? You don't have to make money, bro. You in it to make money. He's like, oh, so Fresh and Fit does their show for charity and out of the goodness of their heart, huh? This is hate right here. And not like hate, like saying like I want to kill these dudes kind of hate. But nah, this is dude mad. His feelings are hurt, bro. He got his panties in a bunch. His feelings are hurt because Myron and Fresh won't work with him. Well, I don't. If you don't want to work with me, then well, why are you selling t-shirts for $50? Why are you having big events and making money? Right? He's like, oh, you guys are making way more money off of your subscribers and your supporters than I do. Whatever podcast, all of your subscribers came from Fresh and Fit. The lion's share. Let's keep it 100. The lion's share of the people who support your platform came from Fresh and Fit. What are you talking about, bro? You mad that you can't get the money that Myron and Fresh is getting? Is that what I'm hearing right here? High Value Academy, $700. I don't even know what High Value Academy is. And I rock with the platform. I ain't never heard of that one. You know what I mean? $1,000 for 20 minutes to talk to Fresh, $900 to talk to Myron for an hour, $3,000 to talk to Fresh. There's a lot of people trying to talk to that man. They hate on him and then they want to talk to him. Bizarre. He's like, oh, we just take super chat donations. We've done about 7 sponsorships total. We have merch, membership. That's it. It's all about money, bro. It's business. You came over from pranks to this because you saw an opportunity to make bread. Fine. So why is he so upset now? Well, because so many of his supporters came from the Fresh and Fit platform, and Myron and Fresh weren't saying anything. They kept it, whatever. Y'all do what you're going to do is fine. But now that this line has been drawn in the sand, right? Some of these people might decide, well, I got to pick a side. They might. And if whatever podcast is in a position where now he is directly competing with Fresh and Fit, he's going to lose, and he knows it. He's going to lose. You don't want to be in that situation. It would have been beautiful for him to sit down and be able to work with Fresh and Fit, and then he would have got even more people to come over and watch the train wreck and all that kind of stuff, right? I think that's what the problem is, man. Dude is mad. This is what I was talking about. This part right here. This is the part I was talking about. Dude is mad that Myron and Fresh won't work with him. And Myron and Fresh is like, go ahead. They didn't say don't watch the guy. They didn't say don't subscribe to the guy. They like, look, man, we wish you all the luck in the world, man. Continued success, but stay over there. That's all. And they didn't even say stay over there. I added that on there. That's me. They didn't say it. They were like, just do you, bro. Just do you. Let's get back to the video.
At dono memberships, there's probably more. We take super chats, donos. We've done about 7 sponsorships total. We have merch, memberships. That's it. Look at the bare bones facts evidence. FNF has monetized their audience far more than we have. We put on an entertaining show. If you want to drop a super chat that we read, cool. That's pretty much the extent of it. We are not fleecing our audience selling our own digital products. We aren't doing landing page funnels and charging $500 for a dating course from a guy who lies and claims he has a 1,000 plus body count. Man, see, these are some.
See what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Like, dude, he's shooting at Fresh. What did Fresh and Fit say? We're not going to work with him. We think he's in this for the money. We don't think he's really part of this manosphere, mano swamp thing. We don't think he's a real hardcore red pillar. It is what it is. We're not going to work with him. That's all they said. We're not going to work with him. That's all they said. Look how dude shot back. He firing. It was like they just said some words. He returned. He firing at him. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to get at him. Like, dude, like my first, like, we're not gonna work with you. He was like, oh yeah?
Get some. Get some. Get some. Yeah.
That's how he came back with that. He like, get some. Oh yeah, get some. They're like, bro. And Myron and Fresh ain't got time for this. I mean, I really don't see them coming. It's like, whatever, man. It's whatever. Stay over there. They ain't gonna worry about this. But they going on Fresh. Oh, you lied about how many women. How do you know dude's lying? And again, this is a guy like who said it in here? I think Brother Pitney might have said it. Someone said it in here. They can't do it, so they can't believe Fresh can do it. This dude, Brian, came to Miami from whatever podcast dude, he came to Miami, trust and believe some women to run his pockets, bro, because he's not used to that life. Actually, he would come to Miami and be afraid to even holler at a woman. He wouldn't be able to move. He won't understand it. It's so different from the West Coast. He wouldn't understand it. It won't make sense to him. He'll just be sitting there like, does not compute. He won't be able to move. He won't be able to do it. He won't be able to do it. I promise you that guy has zero game. I promise anyone who goes on their very successful podcast dressed in a World War II Kaiser Germany uniform with a little Kaiser hat on, got a problem. You got this Asian woman sitting here looking weird with a little baby a little toy black baby. Dude, you looking weird. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing, homie? Nah, man, that guy, he ain't gonna make it out. No, he won't make it. It's the reason he's in Santa Barbara. He probably got wrecked in LA. You know what I'm saying? He probably got wrecked. It's the reason he's in Santa Barbara, man. You know what I mean? It is crazy. It's crazy. Hey, we got Shah in the building. We got Shah in the building. What's good, bro? Yeah, jump on in, man. Yeah, hit that link I sent you on Instagram, man. Hit that link. Hit that link and pop on up, bro. We there you go. You know what I mean? So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here he is right here, the man, the myth, the legend himself, man. This is Shah in the building. What's good, fam?
So, thanks for having me on. Can I call you Don? I wasn't sure if I should call you DL Saint. I think I saw your name was Don on your IG.
Yeah, my real name is Don Lewis. I'm a comedian and all that, but in this world, I'm DL Saint. But you call me what you want, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'll keep it with the YouTube moniker. I wanted to make sure, man. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you, bro. Like I said, I checked you out. I see you working hard. And I did go I started late, and I was drawing it out because I knew you were coming. So I'm like, I'll just draw this out real quick. But we were on the part of the video. We just got your video up, and we were on the part where, in my opinion, whatever podcast, they got their panties in a little bit of a bunch, bro. They were really upset. I mean, I'm gonna let you cook in a second, but it seems to me that Brian was a little bit upset with the fact that Myron and Fresh like, oh, we don't want to work with him because we think he's just in it for the money. And we're just getting to the part where, and I'm glad I got you here because there's a part here we're gonna watch together, and you can kind of elaborate because you were saying some really good stuff, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And you know, like I said, there's a lot of red pillars in here. There's a lot of Fresh and Fit family here, but don't you worry. Don't you worry. Right. It's all good. But in your opinion, how did you see that little bit right there when he was talking about Fresh Fresh lying about sleeping with a bunch of women and how much money they charge for consults? What's your take on all that?
Well, here's the thing, because I mean, I'm not like the biggest fan of both shows. I've seen a lot more Fresh and Fit. I knew about them for a lot longer. I've recently discovered whatever podcast in the last 8 months or so, and I've been watching their stuff. The way the comic comes off is he's definitely frazzled by what Fresh says. And I think specifically when he's just like, that's not really red pill, or, they're just in it for the money. He felt really intimidated by that, and he had to try to come back and say something. For me, the most fascinating part is watching both of these guys kind of like, just the fact that this issue exists to me kind of reveals a greater problem within the red pill manosphere community itself. And that's what I was trying to focus on, because I think there's a little bit of a kind of war for who gets to, lead this thing. And you see that from like Rolo and all these guys also.
Yeah, I would definitely say check out Rich Cooper. He calls it the Mano Swamp. And this is why. Yeah,
I like Rich Cooper. I'm pretty sure we're talking about the same guy. That's the guy, Entrepreneurs in Cars.
Yeah, that's him. That's Rich Cooper, man.
Yeah.
And his book is Unplugged Alpha. I don't know if you got a chance to read that. That is an outstanding book, bro, by the way.
I haven't yet. The two books I have, Myron's Why Women Deserve Less, which was pretty good. I mean, I think he did a great job outlining the problem, especially with the old contract, new contract. And then I have Free Agent Lifestyle and Coach's other book. Coach is like my favorite out of everything.
I haven't really gotten a coach like that, bro. So I ain't really got a coach like that, bro. That's what's up, though.
Yeah, I watch it show like every morning when I'm eating breakfast and driving to work.
I gotta start watching, man. I gotta start watching. So you know what? I'm remiss. I got so excited to have you on here, bro. I didn't give you an opportunity to tell everybody who you are, including me. I only know you through the platform. I've watched 3 of your videos, bro. I think you're gonna be one of the next dudes. I told you that. I sent you that message. I'm not bullshitting you. I think you're gonna be one of the next dudes just with your expertise and all that. But tell everybody, I'm gonna give you a one shot. I'm gonna give you the camera out to yourself. Tell everybody who you are and what you're about, bro.
Yeah. Well, okay, my name's Shah, obviously. And basically my whole thing is, man, I used to work at the local child support agency here in Sacramento, California for 5 years. So I was a child support officer. I was the guy, if you ever watch Maury, I was doing the genetic tests. I came after people for their money. I filed lawsuits against people, and I've read thousands of divorce orders because we have to modify into them. I've talked to countless men and women who, by the time they encountered our system, man, they were already screwed. You know what I mean? So it was like my whole thing with my channel was I was just going to spread a little bit of that child support knowledge, because I got a really deep look into the child support system on the back end. And there's a lot of stuff people don't really understand about the laws. And, you know, I like Fresh and Fit. I like whatever podcasts. I like a lot of these creators because they're really entertaining and funny and all that stuff. But I just think there's this huge blind spot that some of the folks in this sphere need to focus on, because men really need to understand this. I mean, I've talked to so many men across the desk from me, 22, 23, 24 years old, even older. And by the time they were sitting across from me, they didn't know how bad of a situation they're in. And I think more guys need to know that before they get caught up in the system.
Bro, you are going to be the next dude. I know I'm going to keep rocking with you, because not on this show, because we know what we're talking about here, but I would definitely like to talk to you about what you have seen, and especially to the point of, you know, men need to get together and change laws as opposed, instead of sitting around crying about it. They need to, yeah, and it can be done.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the problem, sorry to interrupt you, is
no, go ahead.
I think there's so much ignorance on what the laws actually are that there's all this frustration, anger out there. There's all this stuff. And like, my dream is to see it channeled into the point of a spearhead, you know, that so we know what we're asking for, so we can aim that right at the heart of this thing, you know. And this is something that needs to be blown up so people can be made more aware of how paternity laws work here, you know, how spousal and child support laws work, and all these other things that are just waiting like little, you know, bear traps to get a guy when you're just trying to do what you're trying to do as a man here.
And I'm gonna say this one. I'm gonna ask you just one last question, and then we're gonna get back to the subject matter at hand, because I know you don't have a whole lot of time, but we're gonna get together and make this happen. Answer me this, and this is something I say on this platform all the time. The courts don't care about your gender. They simply want to know who has the money.
Absolutely 100% true. And I'll tell you this, because spousal support and child support laws are not gender biased. It's just biased towards who the provider is, who plays the masculine role. The vast majority of people I've seen paying were men, but, you know, before I stopped working at the child support agency, I started seeing a lot of nurses and pharmacists and women getting these jobs who are now finding themselves in the system. What is biased, though, is paternity laws, because that's something that can only apply to men. I could talk about that more later. But when it comes to just the money, it's all just a calculator. It's all a guideline, and it all just falls on who has the money. And I've seen so many guys go into court with this whole story about she did this or she said he did that, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, all the court hears is, how much do you make? How much does she make? What's the custody? And then bam, there's how much you owe. And that's just how it works on the back end, you know? So I can get into that a lot more also.
Oh, we're going to set it up, bro. We're going to have the one day when you got 2 hours or so that we can just sit down and really get into it.
I'll tell you what, I'm actually just not going to that class tonight. So me and my buddy were taking a stand-up class tonight, and we're both just so busy. And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather have fun doing this. So I got to say
stand-up. I got to interrupt. Did you say stand-up as in stand-up comedy?
Yeah. We like watching, you know, we're going to see Russell Peters on the 28th in San Francisco. And I saw Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock when he came to Sacramento, probably, I think was that in March. It was like a few months back. So we're like, let's take a stand-up class, have some fun, you know, but.
All right, bro. I got to put you on game. You know, I'm a retired air traffic controller.
You're a comedian. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm on your cheating. Oh, that's awesome.
I'm a retired air traffic controller, but while I was air traffic controller, I spent the majority of my time in LA. I was a air traffic controller by day, stand-up comedian by night. I had over 15 years in the game. So do not take a stand-up class. Don't do it. You and your buddy need to just go to the open mics and just do that. Were they charging you for the stand-up class?
I paid $180 for 4 classes. We went to the first class last week, and it was so bad. It was so bad. The lady talked at us for an hour without using like a single example. And it was like, I can't do this, man. Like,
hey, wait. You paid a lady $180 to teach you how to do stand-up, bro.
Yeah, I was like, man, let me try this. And it was a mistake.
Bro, I got a sound effect for you, bro.
You big dummy.
Stuff, man. Here's the thing. I'm taking an improv class, and that class is really good. Like, the teachers are like, they're just good. They're really involved. They know how to talk to us. And then I'm taking the stand-up class because I was like, well, the improv class is good. Why not take the stand-up? And man, it was bad. So,
bro, we need to talk. Okay. First of all, we got two things we could do. We could do a show about child support and how that works, and then we can do if I would love to have you come and talk to me about. Improv is different, but like your stand-up stuff and your comedy journey, you can come over here, bro, and I can bring some folks up. I can get some improv people. I can get some stand-up people, and you can just be on this platform, and we could just tell you how you wasted your damn money going to somebody's class. Improv is different, though. Improv is different. Like that is a skill set you need to hone. It's like acting. So yes, you need those classes. That's different. But stand up, don't you spend no money. Like you $180, man. You could have sent me a $20 super chat, bro, and I'd have taught you 100 times more.
But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to stick with child support just to give probably the people what they're expecting. If I don't know if you told any of the folks in here yet, so but,
no, we haven't. And so I'm gonna bring the video back up. And Level Up Man was saying that there's no need for a war between these two platforms. He's right.
I agree. I wish that they can all focus together, because the more of us, what I'd like to see for the red pill is for it to become a true political movement. Right now, it's this loosely connected sort of, just a bunch of guys dealing with it, and they're coming together. They're getting smarter. Each iteration of the red pill gets a little bit more sophisticated. And I think the next sort of evolution of the red pill, as it kind of leaves its collective anger phase, is to figure out how to become politically active. It's like the one thing that I got to give credit to the feminists for is they managed to get all these people on their side to create political change for themselves. And now it's the men's turn to do it, because right now we're left with a system that's just like a meat grinder for us. And so, that's my stated goal. And that's what I'd like to see. So the war is really unnecessary. And it's unfortunate that you see people trying to be gatekeepers on one side or the other. And I think it's something we can talk about and hopefully make bigger to get that problem fixed.
I'm with you on that, bro. I'm definitely with you on that. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue the video from where we were. And then, I'll stop it. If you want me to stop it, just tell me, hey, stop it right there. I want to,
Sure.
harp on that point. Let's pull this up. I use StreamYard. I think you use StreamYard as well.
I typically just use OBS. I used to stream a while ago, but I've never actually used StreamYard. So
OBS, if you got OBS, it's actually better than StreamYard in my opinion. It has more bells and whistles. It's just harder to use. StreamYard is just point and click. So here we go. Let's check this out.
There's some beefing going on here between whatever and Fresh and Fit. Mind you, Fresh claims this body count before FNF getting his clout. He's claiming to have slept all these women even before they got rich, which is kind of a funny thing. I don't like this whole narrative about if you become you have to become a high value man and that's how you get chicks. This kind of stuff and this part of the internet was never about that. There was never such a huge emphasis on that. It was just about understanding women, trying to learn some game. You know what I mean? It really was more for the average guy. And I feel like so much of this just focuses now on becoming this rich Bugatti driving, private jet flying, just, 6 foot tall, whatever. That last part's going to be impossible if you're not already there. And then you hear, okay, he says he has all these chicks before he got rich. And it's the best thing you can do is learn how to get girls before you get rich. To me, it would be a nightmare to get rich first and then have to learn how to get girls, because you only have way more to lose at that point.
Absolute facts there, bro. You couldn't have said it any better. So you probably have some experience. You probably know some people who got wrecked.
Dude, I mean, well, what really made my opinion that was working at the child support agency, because it's man, I saw so many different guys come in with different jobs. I saw the guys with less money. I saw the guys with more money. I saw software engineers making $250,000 a year. I saw surgeons making more than that. And it's just it just seemed like the system is crafted to punish you if you're a better citizen. The more money you make, the more you get screwed over. Then there's the guys on the other end who will have 7 kids and they're not making minimum wage and there's not much child support can do about it. And for me, on a personal level, it's I didn't really start having girlfriends and stuff until more recently in my life, because, my own personal issues and stuff like that. And as I got better at that, when I was younger, I really wanted to be a doctor. That was my main thing, and it didn't happen. And with the first chick I was with, it ended up really badly. And there was this point when I was heartbroken, I was in the shower and I was man, I'm so happy I never became a doctor, because I would have found a woman like that and she would have just put up with her unattraction for me long enough to screw me up. You know what I mean? And it's I see a lot of guys who find that lesson when it's just too late. And it's okay, if God ever blesses me and I come into money, I'll know exactly what to watch for now, and how to not leverage myself into a position like that.
And I tell dudes all the time, it's about game. It's about, when people hear me say game, well, it's not all about womanizing. To me, when I say game, just substitute understanding. When I say game, and I talk about the red pill, I'm thinking about the movie The Matrix. I'm thinking you are truly unplugged. You see the code for what it is. So many dudes refuse to accept the fact that women are out here running game.
Absolutely, women are running game. Oh my God. I mean, and I've seen guys on the worst thing. There was a case, that I had, and like sometimes what would happen is I would talk to the guy because the guy comes in at one part of the day and then the woman comes in at one part of the day. But I remember like there was this woman sitting in front of me and the paternity was at issue. You know what I mean? So I was trying to explain like, hey, you might ask for a genetic test. If you ask for a genetic test, then, we're going to have to go through that. And it's going to take a little bit of time until the court looks at it and all these things. Or he can accept it. And she's like, I'll just call him in and have him sign the paperwork. And I was like, whoa, hold on. I mean, you know what I mean? She called this guy in front of me and I can hear like her tone change. I can kind of hear the guy on the other side of the phone. And it's like this dude was still like clearly in love with her, but she was done with him. You know what I mean? He was talking to a snake at that moment. And it was just this weird moment for me. I was 25 when I started working at child support. And, I was still kind of young and fresh faced. And then I worked there until I was just before I turned 31. And then I left. And you see a lot of red pill truths working at a place like that. I'll tell you that.
I bet you do, man. And we got paid players are in demand with the $10 super chat. I appreciate you, bro. He's like, Shah's on point. I've watched his video on paternity fraud. It is, I guess he's trying to say accurate and inaccurate to say child support is unbiased. Law in California is written. Yeah.
He's saying like it's inaccurate to say child support's unbiased specifically because of the paternity laws are biased against men. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. No. So because I'm reading it, it's like, all right. But I tell people all the time, I'm like, bro, when it comes to the money side, yes, I get the custody side, but when it comes to the money side, they only want to know who has the bread. That's just my take on it. Look at Kelly Clarkson. Yeah.
Britney Spears is another one. She's paying $40,000 a month to Kevin Federline for two kids. Halle Berry, I think, might have been. Yeah,
Halle Berry.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, there's examples you can point to of women kind of being crushed by the system also. It just doesn't happen as often because men typically, as the red pill rightly points out, women seek a provider male in order to marry with, and women typically choose men that are making more than them. And that's stuff I'm sure Myron and Fresh and Fit go over plenty on their show also,
They do. And here's the thing. I haven't met Rolo yet in person. It's just a matter of time. I just haven't been at the same place at the same time, whatever. But Rolo was on Fresh and Fit's platform. This is year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And I sent a super chat and I was just like, hey, I believe that the laws are going to change at some point, not because of what it's doing to men, but because women are going to out earn men and they're going to begin to get wrecked.
Absolutely true. And this is what I've tried to point out on some of my videos also is that family law reform isn't something that's just here to help men who are just upset at the system. This helps women also. And I think us guys in the manosphere, for us to gain support, I think we're more likely to gain support from the women on even the feminist and the progressive liberal side, because this helps them instead of from the tradcon side. You know what I mean? Higher earning women, I think it would actually open up the market a bit for them. If you got a woman making, she's an attorney, she makes $150,000 a year. If she can marry a guy working at the county like I used to, making $65,000 a year and not have to worry about getting screwed over, they might be more likely to do that. You know what I mean? So we need laws that are actually fair and equitable and aren't kind of couched in these antiquated sort of expectations and traditionalism that they are now. The laws are entirely antiquated and the marriage contract, at least, is a moot point. And it's really not worth it for anyone to sign.
But dudes do it anyway. And Love What Man has a good point. He's saying like, feminism does have 60-year head start as far as the political side of it and all that. Although we're talking about different ways, he's correct. You know what I mean? But there are too many dudes out there who still believe in the old, let's call it blue pill for lack of a better term. I'm just going to go out here and be that stand-up guy and get mauled. And I mean, there's so many dudes out there, bro. I'm like, stop it. What's your take on that?
Well, man, here's the thing. A lot of those guys, I think, are kind of operating off of the sort of traditional imperative or whatever. One example I can think of is is Officer Tatum. He was just on whatever podcast talking to Brian, and he was really selling Brian the idea of marriage. It's just like, well, if you roll up your sleeves and you get 2 jobs and you get a night shift and you provide and everything's going to be fine and you got to manifest and have faith. Then another example, Steven Crowder. For the longest time, he's sitting there selling the blue pill to people. Now he's finally going through it, and now he's like, all right, maybe some of you guys, but marriage is still good. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys, I think the problem is that men are raised to be traditional and women now do not have to be traditional. So men buying into the traditional system is subsidizing women not having to be traditional, right? So yes. you can have a woman who makes all the right noises right before it's time to get married, and you marry her, yet the law allows her, provided she's not the provider, which she probably won't be because she's selling you on being a good wife. The law then allows her to sit here and breach the contract and get rewarded for it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've seen this happen many times and in many different ways. And it's just a bad deal for men all the way around.
All the way around. And, it's already begun. You look at states like Florida, no more forever alimony. Yeah. Ron DeSantis did that. I'm not a DeSantis guy. DeSantis is a complete idiot, but he got that right. And then you look at right now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Florida also mandated that it is in the best interest of the child to have equal access to both parents. So that means the default now in Florida is 50-50.
I hope that's the case. I mean, I haven't run across that. I definitely agree and think that should be the case. Specifically for married couples who are divorcing, I think it should be default 50-50, unless someone can prove in court that one or the other party is dangerous. You know what I mean? Exactly. The other part, when it comes to custody, I did a video saying custody should be taxpayer funded, right? Because a woman can walk in child support and every single thing is free for her. Well, it's paid for by the taxpayer, you and me, everybody else. And they can get all the money they need. But then you got a guy, he's fighting a child support case. He's fighting a divorce case. He's fighting, now, and then he has to do a third case. Now he has to hire a private attorney. He has to try to fight for custody. But how's he supposed to do that when money's getting siphoned from the child support, from the regular, divorce case and all these things? And it's like, if the government really cared about the well-being of children and about having families together and fostering those bonds, there would be as much support for men at least getting a hearing for custody. If not, you can't force them to get custody. You might have a guy who had a one-night stand with a woman and he lives 2 states away and it comes back that he's the father. He should probably have to go through court because it might be weird to just give this kid to whoever this guy is if we don't know. But it should at least be taxpayer funded in that way so men can get a fair shot at getting custody instead of it being private. And that's better for the well-being of the child also.
I would take it a step further. I would say that in that situation, there's no marriage or whatever, one night stand, that man gets a choice. I would say that that man just like women get choices, that man gets a choice. A lot of people get mad because people get mad at me when I say that, and they'll think it's the whole delete the child. I'm like, no. I'm talking about after the baby gets here. Women can have a baby, and I don't know for adoption, or just know what, I can't handle this and give it to the fire department or give it to the. And then that child winds up in the system. That parent, that female, is not forced to be financially responsible for that child, but the men are.
Women have an out for every single consequence that can potentially happen from them expressing their sexuality. Men have no such luxury when it comes to that. As soon as it leaves the man, there's not much you can do. Can I give you an example of a case I saw that I think it illustrates this to the extreme? Yeah, go ahead. So when I first got hired on at the child support place, after training and everything, across the street from the child support agency in Sacramento is the family law court where all the orders are made, and all the child support orders are made there too. It's called William Ridgway. And I'll just stick to the thing. I went there because they took us to see hearings so we can see actual real people going up in front of the commissioner and getting the minute orders and seeing what happens. So after all the whole docket was done and all the people were gone, the commissioner came and spoke to us for a bit because we're the new child support officers and he wanted to meet us. And he's just like, he starts talking about this case he worked, and it was with a basketball player. Okay. And apparently this basketball player had a one-night stand with some woman. And 9 months later, a year later, she comes back and she's like, hey, this baby is your baby. All right. And he asked for the genetic test because he's like, there's no way. The genetic test came back and said he was the father. And he was like, that's impossible. I used a condom with her. How can I be the father? And what the commissioner in Sacramento told me, he was like, well, what I asked him was, what did you do with the condom when you were done with it? He was like, I threw it away. And then it basically came out that she took the condom and impregnated herself with it. And you know what happened to her? Absolutely nothing. There was no criminal action there. That guy has to pay whatever the max child support is because his custody zero. And that's it. Everybody just went with their happy day. You know what I mean? It's like that can happen to you as a guy.
It almost happened to Drake. Right. You heard the story, right? Drake puts, I guess he puts hot sauce in his before he ties.
I heard about that. He's smart. Listen, forget the hot sauce. Here's the key, man. Flush it down the toilet. I don't care if it ruins the plumbing. If you're worried about it like that, or if you really want to, put it in your back jeans pocket and just get out of there. And maybe you need to throw those jeans away or something. But,
Wow. Because when you hear stories like, people say that you hear a story like that, and it's just an urban legend. You were sitting there with the people like, no, this is the case. You pull a case up if you wanted to.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I have so many case examples where I've seen like nutty things happen like that. And it was all that kind of stuff. So, I'm watching it. I'm like, man, this is not like this system. Something needs to change here. This can't keep going forever. Like to me, it's no wonder that relationships, marriages, and all that kind of stuff is in the dumps,
It is in the dumps, man. I'm gonna try to get back to the video one more time. But here's the thing, though. I love where we're going with this conversation. It's just you make some really good points, and maybe we covered it already, but we're just gonna play the video real quick,
absolutely,
just to see. But yeah, bro, this is fire. I'm really enjoying this.
I'll use Don't Align, but they got a stripper pole in their studio, among many, many other things I could say. Okay, buddy. So funny, after just a few podcasts ago, Myron said he never starts talking Ish first. I've had nothing but positive things to say about them. Go watch my episode with Trillstream, and I've shouted them out a bunch, but whatever. So that's interesting. And in the video, Fresh tried to say like, well, we do wish them the best, but they're not real red pill. So he really did call him out, and he tried to be nice about it. So it looks like whatever is just kind of coming back and like, man, that's messed up for throwing us under the bus like that.
Would you say that did they really throw him under the bus, or because I'm looking at it like that didn't seem that harsh to me, but I'm biased. Yeah. I mean, Myron and Fresh, those are my guys.
And I'll tell you, and I don't think they did anything wrong, but I'll tell you this, right? Like, obviously these guys got huge businesses, right? They got millions of followers and all this kind of stuff. And Myron, to give him credit, he was extremely polite about it. Like he didn't come out swinging, but what he did, I will say he did kind of throw some shade at whatever podcast, because he's basically saying like if someone comes out and says you're just in it for the money, and kind of, it's like when a woman's like, all you want is sex from me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to make it that dirty, but all I'm saying is like, well, obviously, yeah, he is going after the money. I'm not like whatever podcast 100% is. A lot of the people are, Pearl is, whoever you want to say. But I think when he heard that, he was like, oh crap, this is an attack on me, because as soon as you say that's not really red pill and he's just in it for the money, I think it got to him a bit. And, to give Myron credits, like how else would he have said it? I don't know. For me, the more interesting part was like, it just reveals something else that's there. And like, whenever I watch whatever podcast, sometimes I feel like picking up my chair and throwing it at the screen, because I have an axe to, my axe to grind really with whatever podcast. And I watch the show. It's funny. It's entertaining. All the stuff is that he'll have these tradcons on. He'll have Candace Owens, Michael Knowles, Lauren Chen, who was the Officer Tatum. There's a little bit, but for the most part is like he softball questioned Candace Owens. And the one thing I wish he would do is he would go as hard against the tradcons as he will, against like the OnlyFans girls or something. It's like, hey, why are you guys supporting a system that screws men over? Candace, why are you not using your platform to advocate for better paternity laws for men, for better fighting and advocating for custody laws for men? Hey, Michael Knowles, why are you guys all acting like, and these Daily Wire guys will be like, yeah, well, it is fair, unfair and messed up, but you guys should still get married. But instead, like, they won't pick at the laws. They won't say that, family laws become this big government industry. They'll get mad at big government for everything else in their lives except when it comes to marriage. And they're like, you guys should still do it. And what I'd like to see from Brian is just a little bit more pushback on those guys. Like, I wish he'd invite like an actual men's rights activist to go toe to toe with the TradCon on his show.
And you're absolutely right there. And again, that's the part right there. That's the money. And like, so when you look at that, like, that's the money.
That's the grift. The grift is to bring on a TradCon and have them yell at these OnlyFans girls or whatever, you know, for the whole time. And then Brian kind of sits there and just lets them do that. He collects the super chats. And the thing is there's these few glitches in the system where every now and then a TradCon will mess up and be like, well, Brian, why don't you want to get married? And then it's like this weird sort of conversation where he has to be like, okay, well, what do I do now? You know what I mean? And it's like, Brian, this is your opportunity to push back and to give him hell. And it just doesn't really happen. And then that's when I want to pick up my table and throw it at the screen.
And it's like, bro, I'm not mad. Like, it's like Myron and Fresh said, but to your point, it's like, well, it's like a guy, like a woman saying, oh, you want me for sex? Yeah. And that's the same thing. If I were whatever podcast, I would be like, of course. Yeah, duh. Can't you see what I'm doing?
It was like they said that to him, and then he was like, well, you only want me for my wallet or something like that. And it just became this kind of mudslinging thing, which is honestly incredibly bad for the movement as a whole. I don't want to see schisms like that. Again, the vision and the hope I have is that a lot of these creators can rally behind the sort of narrative and talking points of getting these laws changed. And if we can all agree on this, we can become powerful, because all of us young men, I mean, and older men and whoever, we represent a large voting bloc. If the TradCons don't come to their knees and come to the bargaining table with us, they will lose the next election if they don't give us what we want. If the other side wants to win the election, they need to come and give us what we want. And this is the power we have, but we need unity to do that.
Bro. I gotta give you Don DeMarco because the young kids like that soundbite. But what you said is absolutely factual. And if that 18 to 25 voting block men will go out there and actually vote, you will push the election any way you want to push it. If you go out there and you vote on the lower at the state level, you can. Hey, I just need somebody. You don't have to be red pill, right? But you just have to understand that the laws don't seem to be working right, because everyone in the system knows it, from the judges to the bailiff to the attorneys,
the lawyers, to the child support officers. Everybody knows it, you know, and everyone's afraid to talk about it. You know what I mean? And it's like, we got feminist politicians. We need red pill politicians now. We need them to start lobbying. And it sounds hard, and I know it seems easier to just get your passport and become a passport bro to go to a kinder jurisdiction. To me, the whole passport bro sort of narrative, to me, underscores the problem, which is that the laws are not fair, and they're going to a place where the jurisdiction makes more sense for marriage, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing that.
Well, it's two parts to that. Is what you said absolutely correct, and secondly, as an American going into most of these second and third world nations, you instantly level up.
Oh yeah.
So when
sure.
Financially, so you're at the top of the chain. Right.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. And the women typically are, you know, just as a byproduct of that system, of that political system, of the legal system, they're going to behave more within the parameters of what the law allows them to, which is more appealing to men. The problem comes in is like, okay, am I going to go there? Am I going to live there forever? If I bring her back here, I'm bringing back a time bomb, because I've seen this happen. You know, I saw, you know, you talked about lifetime support being outlawed in Florida. Lifetime support can still happen in California. It's not on the books, but a judge can indefinitely assign spousal support,
alimony,
especially if it's a alimony. If it's a long-term marriage, which is past 10 years. And, you know, there was a case, I think he was a Marine or something, and he married a Filipino woman, and he brought her here. She barely spoke English, all this stuff. They're going through divorce, and the judge basically said, hey, she can't take care of herself here. You brought her here. You made her a citizen. You take care of her. Lifetime spousal support. You know what I mean? So it's just like, here's another thing. I saw another case. I think this was also from the Philippines. I saw one from Brazil. Well, basically what happened was a guy went over there. He had a family, he had kids. And guess what she did? She called up the child support agency here in California, where he lives and works probably. So his probably plan is like, I'll just, you know, Western Union, $500 a month or whatever. And they're good to go. And they probably are living like kings off of $500 a month, but that wasn't good enough. So mom was able to call in, and our attorneys, you know, at the child support agency are like vipers. They went straight after him. They got him served. And guess what? She's getting an American child support order now sent over to her way over there. So there are these pitfalls that these passport guys don't understand, that they just need to know, you know what I mean? So that they can be smart about it.
And that's what it's all about, that game. I know when I talk to last good man in Jersey. He's huge, big passport, bro.
Yeah.
Loves the Philippines. He's we've collabed on this platform, and we were going back and forth. I'm like, bro, you still have to be gamed up. If you
absolutely.
go over there, if you have no idea how the game works, the game is the game no matter where you are on this rock. You can be anywhere on planet Earth. It's still, if she's smart enough to be able to read and go online and see how it works in America, and she knows extradition and she knows what laws are being funneled back and forth through these governments, she got you, bro. But in most cases, but in most cases, these women, they're just not built that way. In most cases, they just want to have that relationship or whatever, but you don't know who's who. You gotta have that game.
Exactly.
You gotta have that game, bro.
And any guy who goes over there to try to get a family and all that, like I support that. I'm with that. I mean, that's a noble thing to do, and I don't blame them for doing that at all. So and
that's what we're gonna do.
Let me, of the women I have dated, there are a few of them that were just visiting here. Like there was a Colombian woman who was an au pair, and her and I dated for a bit, and they are very different from American women. I'll tell you that. Like it's almost, it's like night and day, and it's weird to say that. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. It's a whole nother dimension. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is like the 18th dimension, but that's how they get down. I know you had a good time. Au pair Colombian. Woo, you had fun, bro.
She was cool, man.
I know you had a good time. Mark, we got brother Mark F. He's like, truth, we need to unite and rally to help change the laws. The infighting between, moderates, and trad cons is hurting us. And he's right about that. I mean, but here's the thing. The red pill community, if the red pill community got together and honestly did a voter registration drive in various states, if we could put together a list of red pill friendly candidates, if we can, go out there, it's a way to do this, gentlemen. Like the American political system is very simple when it comes down to it. If you got enough money, they're going to listen. That's how it works, bro. That's how it works. You get them when they're young. Go ahead, bro.
And the reason I believe that this is a possibility for the red pill movement is because you had got, as soon as men and these talking points of avoiding the state contract of marriage started becoming popular, you had Matt Walsh come out. You had Ben Shapiro come out. And the fact that these guys had to make videos attacking the red pill, to me, just kind of, they played their hand saying that they're intimidated by us, that we're becoming powerful enough for them. They're trying to get ahead of us before we can become a force to be reckoned with. That's actually going to hurt their bottom line. You know what I mean? And they're like, no, come back into the tradcon sphere, which we know is only going to set us up for failure later down the line when it comes to, state marriage. And even if you avoid state marriage, you still got this entire legal framework which exists out of marriage, which is called child support, which can get you anyways. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm watching those guys at the Daily Wire, and I kind of see what game they're trying to play here,
I mean, this is the time to make it happen. And then you look at, like, the TradCon people, right? I'm still I'm slowly making my way into this space, and I'm moving around in all these different bubbles. I'm slowly getting them over, because when you sit them down one-on-one, it's like anything else politics, right? Yeah. You're over there, you're Republican or whatever, you're liberal, whatever, you're this, you're that. Yeah. But when you sit them down one-on-one, right? If it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. When I sit down with men and women, the traditional conservatives, it's like, listen, I would love to get married. Yeah. If she's worth 10 times more than me, well, what do you mean?
Oh, she's a pharmacist? Oh, I'll get married right now. I will lay down the charm like it's nobody's business. Be like, wow, you are amazing. I wish I was smart enough to be a pharmacist.
Oh my God. I will stay home and clean the house and cook French toast for you and rub your feet.
All right. But what happens is the tradcons on the Daily Wire side will go in and be like, oh, these people are against families. It's like red pill people did not say families were bad. They just said the state contract was bad. They're not against kids growing up in a two-parent home. That's what we want. You know what I mean? I think everybody wants that.
Everyone says it. Everyone. Myron Fresh says it all. Fresh and Fit podcast says that men and women are better together than they are apart. What the red pill guys love to look at the stats. Yeah. Look at the stats. I mean, the stats, the numbers are the numbers. Children tend to perform better when they come out of two-parent households. I get that. And if you can't have that, at least the co-parenting situation is a good situation. But when you monetize a child, I don't care where you are. We currently monetize children, right? You have to keep the child away from one parent so you can maximize the amount of money you get for that child.
Coach, Adams does some great streams about this. He pretty much says like they're used as pawns and leverage, which is a horrible place for a child to be because there's a lot of emotional manipulation going on there, and that's not good for them. I mean, there's a ton of things you can point out that are just wrong in that situation. And then men are confronted with this, like, one of the major problems is that child support now exists in this public sort of family law framework that's taxpayer funded. And custody and these other aspects of family law are still left in what's called private family law. And it was always traditionally private family law because the vast majority of kids who were born within a marriage. It was only like 5% of kids were born out of wedlock in 1950. Then around the 70s, it was about 25%, and that's when you saw the creation of the federal child support program, which, plagues us to this day. And nowadays, it's about 40% out of wedlock. You know what I mean? So it's like, back then, if you guys were going to get divorced, which was a lot harder to do back then with at-fault divorce, your case was going to be heard by a judge, and a judge was going to make a decision. So, like, all of that stuff, in order for you to get divorced, was going to get heard. But now that so many kids are born out of wedlock, it doesn't exactly go in front of a judge because, well, they're not married in the first place. So that's why you have this huge public system, which kind of encroaches on everything else and is making life a living hell for anybody who's not like, who's just a decent, hardworking person and actually playing by the rules, And
there you go right there. When you play by the rules, you get crushed. And
you get crushed. Tyrese Gibson, the perfect example right there. It's like, what did that guy really do wrong? And from a red pill lens, we can be like, oh, maybe he was simping, or maybe he didn't hold masculine frame, or all these kinds of things. But other than that, like what happened to him, I don't think he deserved for that to happen to him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
That would not have happened to him 50 years ago, but it happened to him now because we've created this monstrosity of a child support system that anyone can appeal to and use it to take advantage of the other person. Because what we tried to do was create this Band-Aid system that was meant to deal with essentially the lower, like, I don't want to say poor
talk
people,
about that
but
part where he was like no, go ahead and talk about that, because it was the two-tier system. It was the poor people.
Yeah. But then what happened in the mid-90s is child support got so powerful that it essentially bullied its way into private family law. And now the middle class and the Kevin Costners and the Tyrese Gibsons of the world, and even just the normal software engineer or the normal guy who owns a roofing business gets screwed over by this. Where before it was just supposed to be about, deadbeat dads who, maybe they were working like they weren't doing anything. You know what I mean? That's what the system was for. But now the system's so powerful, it punishes good men. And that to me is unacceptable.
You named an elected official, and I think you said it was in the 90s, that was the one who said that the child support system should be as powerful as the IRS.
It was Marilyn Smith. I think it was Marilyn Ray Smith. And she wasn't an elected official. What she was a director of one of the child support agencies, or I think a director at the state. Child support agencies are broken down by state agencies, and then there's also one agency per county, right? And so they're governed by the state agency in their state. And then there's a federal system called Office of Child Support Enforcement, which oversees all the states. She was one of the directors for these agencies. And basically what she lobbied for was, we want the child support system to be as powerful as the IRS system. So what happened is in the 90s, there was she did a lot of work, and she spoke in front of Congress, and they created this bill called PERORA, Personal Work Responsibility something, yada, yada. But what that did was that made the child support system so powerful. Like, we have access to so much data about normal people. It's insane. We get data from the IRS. We get data from, all these different National Directory of New Hires, EDD, LexisNexis. I can see where a person's lived for freaking the last 20 years. I can see who's lived there with them. I can see all their phone numbers. I can see their social security numbers. I can see when they've been in and out of jail. I can see if they got disability, if they've been on welfare, and what time periods. Any little blip of income is gonna pop in if you're on the grid. And it's all made possible because in the 90s, they gave us this like gargantuan power. And it just became so powerful that it really intruded its way into normal families and marriage. Because if you had a divorce before the child support system, a judge had the dexterity to say, hey, this is what's appropriate for this situation. This is what I'm going to order. Now, all her attorney has to do, or her herself, is just say, hey, I want guideline support. And what that does is appeal to the public federal standardized guidelines that we have. And that's the money you get, the calculator that you were talking about earlier, where gender doesn't matter. So the judges have lost their dexterity in how to award something appropriate for a case because these calculators have just took over. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I
It's
just
a
dropped
deep,
your link.
deep thing. Oh,
It's definitely
yeah,
deep. I
appreciate
just
that.
dropped your link in there. So guys, hey, red pillars, y'all out here. I know Myron and Fresh are on right now. So, there's people jumping back and forth. Please go over, support this brother right here. Oops, over here. Support this brother right here. Y'all hearing what he's dropping. He ain't lying. And it's not like he's a magician. He was just in the system. He understands how it works.
That's all it was. I was just the guy, I was just like, let me see if I can get a job. I ended up working at this place. And like, I ended up getting promoted. I became a trainer and I became like a lead of a team. So I would have to train new child support officers. And I became very well versed with the system and how the laws work, because I had to train these people to deal with, men and women, and they better make sure they get their cases right. So I had a very good, deep look into the system. And what I saw is just stuff people really need to know, because a lot of guys find out when it's too late. And by the time you're in it, it's just the weight of the system is going to fall on you,
Yes. And his brother's not new, but, just getting started again in this space. This is the go-to guy. Go check out his content. Encourage him to do lives. I'm going to keep bringing him over here. Encourage him to do lives and get this information, fellas and ladies, right? Ladies, this is going to affect y'all. Women are graduating from college at higher rates than men. They're out earning their male counterparts.
They're becoming nurses, doctors, pharmacists, attorneys, all these things. And, what's going to happen? But people just stay on the other side and they're like, I'm going to not have relations with the other side. Eventually they will. And when they do, there's this system waiting for them.
And like I said, it is not gender based. Y'all got the game messed up, guys. Who got the money? That's all they care about. Who got the bread? All those systems he's talking about, so they can track your money and track you. Bro, they going to find you, man. And they don't want to hear about it. When he's like, well, I'm not the father. What? Nope. You've been paying his child support, so you're going to have to keep paying it. I heard so many horror stories about that.
About paternity?
Well, it's paternity, but yes, paternity. But when you have a guy who's been, okay, I'm paying child support.
He's holding out to be the father.
Right. When the judge just says, well, someone has to be the dad. You've been in the child's life for X amount of time. Yeah. You're it. You've seen that?
Absolutely. Here, let me give you a brief example. And the laws vary from state to state. In Tennessee, you have till 5. In California, it's 2. Federally speaking, it's about 2 years since the date of birth. But let me tell you. So basically the way it works in California, like let's say you're married, right? You and mom are married. You guys have a kid. The child's born within the marriage. You're legally the father, okay? And you're doing your husband. Yeah. So you're doing your husband duties and you're taking care of the child, blah, blah, blah. It's normal family. This kid hits 3 years old, right? And then all of a sudden, to quote the infamous CGA, I'm not happy, right? And she decides to leave. Something happens. Maybe it's an ugly breakup. She's like, screw you. I never loved you. And it's not your kid. I cheated on you. And you take a genetic test and you find out it's not your kid. Well, guess what's going to happen in court? They're going to be like, since this in California law, if the kid is over 2 years of age and you have not filed and served an action to have the courts hear paternity to undo it, it's too late. You can't do it. So this kid's 3 years old. You've been in the child's life. What they're going to say is it's in the best interest of the child for you to keep being the father. Now, that doesn't mean you're guaranteed custody. It just means you're legally on the hook for providing for this child, And I saw that happen a lot. That's written in the law. Exactly. And it's similar in a lot of other states. They might have some variation on the time. The most important thing to understand too is holding out to be the child's father. Like for us in our child support application, we had this thing called a paternity questionnaire. And one thing you got to understand is that genetic tests didn't really come around until the mid 90s. Before that, there's this entire legal framework that's created to figure out who the dad is. And it's not based off genetic testing because, we didn't have that. We had blood tests for a bit. Blood tests weren't as good as genetic testing, but we would ask people questions like, so did he ever do anything to show that he's the father? Like, did he ever give birthday cards? Did he ever buy diapers? Do you have any messages from him, like wishing the kid happy birthday? And all that's necessary because we're trying to prove to the court that this guy held himself out to be the father, and this guy has a relationship with the child, and the child knows him as dad. So when it comes to biological paternity, what's going to happen is biological paternity isn't a judgment of anything. It's just used as evidence by the court. And it's more so used to get guys who are not in the child's life. But when you come in and you're like, hey, I'm not the dad, they're going to be like, well, look, they accept that as the case, but then they have to look at the whole picture, which includes the relationship you have with the child, and they might still say, which happens a lot, you're the dad, we're going to continue you being the dad, especially if we don't even know who the real dad is. It's in this kid's they don't want another kid on welfare, they want you to pay for it.
All right, fellas, did y'all hear that? We're gonna run that. Man, you just blew my mind. So you telling me if I'm dating a woman who has a 1-year-old, I just met her.
Yeah.
She's got a 1-year-old. She's cool. I'm trying to get in good with her. So I help her out. I help her out when she needs diapers. I bring formula over. I might have watched the kid a couple times when she went on the job interview. You know what I mean? I set up a birthday party. There's ponies there. We're all wearing the funny little birthday hats, right? But then 18 months later, I'm like, you know what? This isn't working out. She could go to court and the court could say, no, you did all these things. You acted as dad. So you're it.
That case is right on the line right there. Like, if you're married, you're screwed. If you're not married, you still have a chance to get out of it. Okay, if she has a 1-year-old, what's highly probable is someone else has probably already been named the dad. So if she has a 1-year-old, and so typically it used to be all the kids, most of these kids were born within marriage, so we didn't need to have this. But when kids started being born out of marriage, they created this program called Voluntary Declaration of Paternity. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
It's basically like when you're at the hospital, they're going to give you these forms to sign. And if you sign it, it gets filed with the state and it has the weight of a legal finding. So most of the time, when these kids are born, dad, more often than not, is at the hospital with mom, and they can get dad to sign these forms. When it comes to like the situation where you guys just met and the kid doesn't already have a legal father, I would say that one is very on the line. I would say it's more than likely not going to happen unless you've actually accepted paternity, like through adoption or through signing this form or through going to the child support office and saying, hey, I'll be the dad and doing something like that. But I don't want to say it can't happen. I mean, it's possible that it can, but I think it's not like the law says that's exactly what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
that's funny. But if you take the same example and you stretch it out 3 years, so 3 years you've been involved in this child's life, you might be putting yourself in a situation.
Yeah. You do got to be careful about that. But I don't want to be quoted as saying that is going to happen to you, because there's still a way out of it at that point, since legal paternity hasn't been established. And if it hasn't already been established, then you have a shot. But what tends to happen in those cases is sometimes the guys will then go in there and accept paternity, and then they're really screwed. Like I've seen divorces where they got married, she had kids from a previous relationship, and that guy adopted the kid. Once that happens, it's over. I saw one with the two lesbians, you know what I mean? And they adopted a child together, and that marriage didn't last, not more than 5 years. And, it's kind of like a Brittany Griner, right? Her situation. Wasn't she only married for like a couple of months or something like that? And she accepted her girlfriend's prior child and adopted that child. And now she has to pay child support for 18 years.
Forever. Hey, gotta think about it. Ain't no getting out of it, bro. This was amazing. I know I brought you on so we could just talk about the whole whatever podcast or Fresh&Fit thing, but this was a better conversation. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wrap it up because I am a single dad. I got to get my daughter to sleep. But I wanted to give you your opportunity for your final thoughts. Keeping in mind, the red pill space is always saying single mothers are for recreational use only. Before I let you go to final thoughts, what's your take on that?
Take on single mothers? Here's the deal. Like when I operate out there, I think, obviously the red pill's like, don't date single moms or whatever. I would say like the most important thing is like not getting someone pregnant that you're not sure you want to be stuck with. But if you see a single mom and okay, suddenly she's a nurse or a pharmacist, she's making 10 to 15K a month. These kids have a legal father that, are in their lives, and you got married and you didn't have any kids. You might not lose. You can still get divorced, and it's going to be relatively painless only because if she makes more money than you. But at the same time, like me personally, I don't have kids, and it's like I might have had some fun with some single moms or dated some or whatever. But what I wouldn't do is hold myself out and say I can be a father to your child, because I know damn well I don't know what it's like to be a dad. I don't want to be, like involved in that. And like if you're a guy and you already have a kid or two and you meet a woman and she has a kid or two, and you guys are both kind of doing your stuff, and she's got a good job, you got a good job. I'm not against that. Like, I wouldn't say like you're bad if you did that. I mean, it might actually work out better because you guys both understand the trials and tribulations of having kids. You know what I mean? So
that's what's up.
I don't want a blanket statement and say, you know, single moms are bad or whatever. It really depends on the situation, and financially is the thing you should be paying attention to, and also what you're willing to do. And you know, there's a lot of guys out here who unfortunately have no choice. And if you are going to decide to kind of dabble in that, you have to understand how to protect yourself in that situation. Do not agree to adopt the child. You know, you don't want anything to legally do with the child. Say no. You know, facilitate that with the child's father. That's his responsibility. And don't be a hero and try to take it on yourself, because that's just going to lead to problems for you.
Are you saying we shouldn't be the guy who steps up?
Well, absolutely not. I mean, you know, the heroes and the prince of the traditional world, I guess we're not needed anymore, because, you know, they've been telling us the whole time. It's like you're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't, in that sense, right? The tradcons will say you should absolutely step up. The feminists who now have the kids would probably say you should step up also. But prior to that, they're like, I don't need no man. You know what I mean? So if anything, I don't blame the MGTOW guys doing their thing.
Yeah, I ain't mad at MGTOW guys. I mean, I don't mind sitting on the bench for a little bit, but I'm not gonna, you know, lead a stadium. I'm still in the game. I just called my own number, set myself on the bench for a while. But yeah. I want to get your final thoughts on the whole Fresh and Fit whatever podcast thing, and do me a favor, like just because I know you don't have a problem with either platform, like you said, like you're in the space, you dig both platforms.
For a viewer, to be honest, like, and I do watch both of their content, and you know, it's entertaining and it's fun a lot of the time, you know. Well, but my final thoughts with that is, you know, and it's like, I do acknowledge they're both in it to make money and all that. And that's okay. I just think like men who watch this stuff should just be kind of aware that, you know, obviously not anybody has that one perfect solution. The whole become a high value man thing, though self-improvement is important, this isn't the final end all be all, because in my opinion, you just kind of become a bigger fish to fry if you're not careful. And what I kind of wish both of these podcasts would do is focus a little bit more on galvanizing their audiences so that we can have a better shot at getting these laws changed. Like, I want to see Myron and Walter question some of these tradcons if they ever bring them on the show and be like, why aren't you guys doing this, this, and this? And I want to see Brian do the exact same thing. You know, it's funny when they call out the 304s or whatever, but a lot of those talking points are kind of becoming stale now. And I think we're kind of witnessing an evolution in the red pill space, and everyone's trying to figure out what to do next. Pearl's in the same problem. I mean, she just had this tiff on Twitter with the whole Daily Wire. And I think everyone's trying to figure out what to do next. Sneeko said the red pill is dead. Now he's doing IRL streaming. Rolo had that run-in with Destiny and Sneeko where they called him out because he was waffling about what a high value man is. So it's pointed out these inconsistencies and blind spots in the movement as a whole. And I think we need to start figuring out where to go next and from here.
Bro, fire, man. I'm so glad you came on.
Heck yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's fun.
Oh yeah, man. And so man, that was just fire, bro. I know Brother Pitney said that he just subbed. Thanks to everyone who's checking us out. Yeah, man. And I know I didn't get to read everyone's chat, y'all. I'm sorry, but sometimes y'all know when we get into it. I'll show every chat, but I can't read them all. Brother Pitney is saying too many women have no high value, men just high value targets.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really what it is. It's like, if you get caught in the trap and you're a big fish, man, like that system's designed to just get as much as it can out of you, you know. And if you're a turnip, then there's only so much blood they can squeeze. It's just sad that they disincentivize guys from working harder. It's sad that you're a guy paying child support and then you figure out how to make more money, and then all of a sudden you get paperwork from the child support saying we want to modify your order to something bigger. You know what I mean? It's just.
And they're slow to modify that order to something smaller. Here to tell you, bro, they will drag their feet when it comes to cutting the money. Ask Terrell Owens. You know? Yeah.
But yeah, I had a great time, man. I appreciate you having me on, and you know, maybe we can do some more work later and really get this stuff out there. So that would be a win.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I'm gonna wrap this up. Don't go anywhere, man. Just hang out real quick. I'm just gonna
sure.
I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. Right here, this is Brother Shah. I'm DL Saint. This is the I Really Want to Know podcast, man. Thanks for rocking out with me. I'll be back tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about, but it's going to be fire. I promise you. Peace.
Nothing like a seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.